Yo, what's up? Welcome to episode 113. This is Uncensored Minds. Um, I know it's a little different view this week. As you can see, it's me rocking a solo. The ladies will be on momentarily, but wanted to take the time out to extend our heartfelt prayers and wishes to the Hamlin family. This past Monday, the second day of the year, Damar Hamlin um, was injured on a football field in Cincinnati, where he sustained cardiac arrest with the quick help of the training staff for both teams um, doing CPR and administering aid. They were able to regain a pulse and take him to the nearby hospital so where he can get the treatment that he needed to um, hopefully save his life. If you're not a sports fan, football fan, you still know what the name Damar Hamlin means. 24-year-old kid from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, made his dreams come true by being drafted in 2021 by the Buffalo Bills, and now is living his dream. As we all know now, the tragic events that happened this past Monday, left him lying helplessly on the ground in Cincinnati fighting for his life. With the help of, again, the medical staff on both teams, they were able to, help him regain a pulse and get him to medical attention where he is now progressing well. Um, so, without further ado, we're going to open the show with a prayer um, and our heartfelt not condolences, but our prayers go out to him and his family as he goes through his recovery and battle to get back to his normal self. So bow your heads. Jehovah, our most gracious Heavenly Father in the heavens, thank you for giving us the opportunity today to see this beautiful day here on earth. Continue to bless us, family, friends, and loved ones with your beautiful word, and wrap your arms around us as we continue to go through life happy and healthy. Continue to bless us as we go through tragic events such as this, and knowing that your word and your presence is also powerful. Thank you for giving us the gift that you give us each and every day, which is life, and the opportunity to live in it how we choose to. Continue to bless those that are going through any hardships, mental anguish, and or strife, and helping them to again see the light. Continue to bless this young man as he continues to recover, as you has been doing the moment he fell to the ground. Your presence is also powerful, and not just his world, but all of our worlds, and we appreciate and thank you for that. So please forgive us for all our sins and shortcomings, and help us have such a beautiful, healthy, and prosperous new year. In your son's name we pray, Christ Jesus. Amen. So with that being said, this is another episode of Uncensored Minds. Welcome to episode 113. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Beautiful prayer, Nell. Beautiful, beautiful prayer. What's up, everybody? As Nell said, welcome to episode 113 of Uncensored Minds. That prayer, I tell you, Nell, no one could have asked in a better way. Nell is so passionate about things, but he's especially passionate about sports. He's passionate about any of the players because he know the fight and the struggle that it took for them to get to where they are. So once again, Nell, thank you so much for that prayer. With that being said, for the affirmation, with all of that is going on, that just happened last Sunday with Damar Hamlin. In the blink of an eye, that what happened to him doesn't happen every day. It doesn't happen very often at all. It's just that one little point someone need to hit your chest. And just that quick, heart attack. That's how life is on a daily for us people. Stop holding your feelings in. Stop trying to be what you're not in order to satisfy the outside world. Be what make you happy. Become your joy. And when you become your joy, that joy will spread. But you cannot become that joy by hiding what you are, hiding how you feel. Go to the ones you love. Reach out to them. And if you have someone that you're having beef with, baby, you better fry that shit up because beef is too high now. Fry that up and let's stir that away. With that, let's get started with Uncensored Mind.
KD, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a beautiful occasion as we continue to go through our progression here at Uncensored Minds. We always have new and exciting things that we got going on. And tonight, I need everybody to throw the hearts up from our girl, Ish. Why is that so special? Is because Ish is running the show tonight. Ish
All
is
What's up,
right, Ish.
here.
everybody?
Ish,
Hey, gang.
we had to put Ish through Alcoholic Anonymous this week to get her sober. But
Yes.
you know, one of her missions this week on collecting herself is to run the board. So Ish is the engineer tonight. She is the host. She is the mostest, and we is here. So what's up?
What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the show, everybody. Make sure to like and share the video. I see everybody in the comments. KD, you look lovely as always.
Well,
Mr.
so do
Nell,
you, my lady. So do you.
salute, salute. What's up, gang? That was a beautiful prayer, Nell. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. I know that everyone really, really felt the impact of that. So that was beautiful that you decided to do that. A beautiful prayer. Thank you. Hey, gang, what's going on?
Well, I'm sharing the post as we speak. And ladies, I see what you said about me. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm too slow with trying to even type thank you. They said that they can't wait until it's my time to run the boards.
To run the
I
board.
don't see it happening.
You gonna get it. Trust me. Trust me.
I
Trust
don't
me.
see it happening.
You'll be able to do it. I mean, even if we fumble a little bit, we fall down, we get back up. Nell's there to help us out. Let's go. Let's
Another
go.
feel
Exactly.
good story in regards to what happened Monday night is Damar Hamlin regained consciousness this week. Not only did he regain consciousness, but his neurological functions were unaffected by his cardiac arrest and him, laying there helplessly for the minutes that he were until he was transported. He is now up. He is speaking. He is amongst family and loved ones as he is continuing the process of getting, back to his normal self. And this has only reaffirmed, not reconfirmed, reaffirmed God's position in our lives. Because the first thing that we do when we are in the midst of adversities or challenges is, we should be falling to our knees in prayer. But we should be doing that regardless of if we're faced with a challenge or an adversity, and should be doing it even when we're in our glory and in our shining moment, right? And our level up. So this right here just goes to show how prayer is definitely needed, but also helpful as well. So again, shout outs to that young man and his family as he continues to recover. We're all in recognition of him with the blue, red, and white. KD is wearing his number. His number's 3. Many
Oh,
people.
wait a minute. No, no. That's not all.
I think she just wanted to show us her butt, y'all.
I do not. Wait a minute.
KD.
Shout outs to K.
Nice.
Shout outs to Katie for going above and beyond, not only wearing the number 3, but actually having his name, across her back. So that's what's up. That's dope. And tonight we'll be honoring Mr. Hamlin and family, as he continues on his journey. What up, Ish?
Yeah. Nice. Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. We're going to definitely hop right into the icebreaker. Y'all ready to get this shit started?
Let's
Let's
get
pop
it
off.
started, girl.
Let's
Let's get it
pop
popping.
off. Let's pop off. Okay, so tonight's icebreaker. Can you hold a conversation? What is your icebreaker? So, I mean, realistically, it takes a lot. You know what I mean? When you're engaging with people. Can you hold a conversation or are you just not saying anything? Is it just dry? Let's talk about it. What's up?
Well, I think it depends on what you have in common with the person. Y'all need things in common in order to be able to conversate together. So I think it just depends on what you have in common with the person.
Mhm.
And as far as icebreaker, I'm not gonna even lie. I never break the ice. It's always broken with me. I
Okay.
Yeah, and I need to stop that. I know I do, but always let the ice be broken with me.
So he's got to come straight from the gate with you.
Yeah,
And so if he doesn't, what happens?
I mean, if he doesn't, depending on the setting that we're in, if it's a setting that we're around each other on a daily, eventually, I'll get around to just conversating with him as if conversating with anyone else.
Okay.
Because with me, you have to be a friend first before I can feel comfortable. So
Mm,
I guess that would just have to be, I would have to be in a setting with him. If it's somebody I see on the street, I,
right.
I'm not making that move.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now what you think?
You see my eyes?
I saw those
My
eyes.
eyes don't lie. But um, let's double back on a point that you had made earlier that you got to have things in common with a person to have a conversation. And I kind of think that's a little jaded, little maybe not so absolutely true. Um, because what if we don't share the same um, common interests? We still should be able to have a conversation just based upon you know our life events, daily events that goes on in the world. Again, this past week has been an opportunity for us, for those that have no clue or understanding of what football is, but we
Yeah,
understand somebody got hurt playing the game.
Hmm.
right,
We understand that there's emotions and feelings that go along with that because it could have been our son, it could have been our brother, it could have been, our friend.
right.
But that sparks conversation, and then those conversations can lead to things that you may not never had interest in and or commonality, right? But the one thing that meshes that all together is the human aspect of what happened and how we as humans um, feel whenever there's something that goes on that hits home, close to home. So those type of things can lead to conversations. Those type of things can open up the door for conversations because I could tell you, hey, I'm an avid football fan and I watch football all the time. And this is the first time I've ever seen anything that happened like this. And,
Mm-hmm.
you could say, oh, you know what? I might not be a football fan, but this happened to someone in my family who had cardiac arrest, and it can just open up the doors to possibilities. But then, two, as we talked about on our Thursday warm up, um, sometimes you got to think outside the box in
Hmm.
order to get an understanding of things that you may not know, in order to
Mm-hmm.
spark conversations and keep conversations going, or to break the ice, right? And that's how you find out about things. That's how you learn your partner. That's how you learn your mate, by um, putting yourself in maybe some uncomfortable situations, or learning new things to where you're able to have well versed conversations. So it's not just sitting there just fiddling your thumbs and yeah and whatever, you know what I mean? Or oh, this person ain't interested in me, or whatever the case may be, that could spark negative thoughts on why you're not communicating effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's read some of these comments now.
Hmm.
Angelia says, it depends on who I'm talking to. Some people I can talk to with no problem. Then some people, I just freeze up. Do you guys agree that it's the energy that a person might be giving off that will incite either conversation or lack thereof?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
now I never freeze up. If they ever approach me, it's on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that because sometimes, um, you don't know. You typically don't know what to say. You may not know what to say in response to the way a person is conducting the conversation, um, and you're waiting for them to make a point so you can then talk back. You know what I mean? Because sometimes there are
Yeah.
no points made. It's just things that said, or you just hold on the phone and you breathing, or it's just, oh, I just called to say hey type of thing, and that's cool. But in order for there to be back and forth dialogue, it has to be dialogue. It has to be some
Right.
sort of something that will spark dialogue that will continue the conversation for both parties. So
Right.
I
Exactly.
Hmm.
with that.
Now, Taylor
Yeah.
may ask what are the reasons we are quiet.
Quiet.
Well, as Angelina said, sometimes you freeze up. You may be so excited about talking to that person that maybe you become nervous at what to say, to the
Mhm.
person. I mean, that's a lot of women, I think, will freeze up simply
Mhm.
because number one, and guys, don't kill me for this, but it's customary that the guy will approach the female. So that's one thing right there. Then number two, you already want to holler at dude, but you don't know how to go about hollering at dude. So when you do get in there, you freeze up. It's
Mhm.
like, wasn't it enough that I tripped up and said hi to you? I'm interested. Lead the
Mhm.
way. Lead the way.
Yeah.
All right, so let's stay there.
I.
So let's stay right
I.
there though.
Go ahead.
Let's say he you're waiting for him to approach you, and he does approach you, and he converses with you, but you don't have that type of interest. Are you not going to continue to steer the conversation in a way where you are getting your topics off? It doesn't always necessarily have to stop because he's not very much engaging. Can you entertain the conversation so where he picks up on certain things that you may be interested in, where you can continue the conversation with?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, when you interested in somebody, as long as there's a conversation going, you're gonna stay, like right there in it, and try to hang on to the every word that they say. As long as you're not too nervous, then you can, or if you ain't like KD, retaining issues. But you're gonna listen. I mean, anything they say, you're gonna listen with interest because the interest is already there.
Right. So Helen asked this question, which is a good one. So who would initiate that talk further? The one who called or the receiver?
I would say typically the caller.
I would
The
say
caller's the
typically the
one who
caller
calls, so
too.
they thinking about you, or they got you on their mind, or something they called for. I would think the caller is the one that is going to initiate the conversation. You called you like ring ring ring, Ish,
Right.
hello.
Yeah. Like,
You
what's
gonna
up?
say
What you?
hello, what's up?
Yeah.
Then
Mhm.
you're going to wait for me to be like, yo, what's going on? What's popping? Did you da da
Yeah.
da da? You're waiting for me, the person who called, to explain what was the purpose of my call or to continue on conversation.
Right. And that's it exactly. Like, I feel like the caller should definitely be the one to like lead the conversation. Like, you can't
Mhm.
call and just be like, okay, and then expect the other person to talk because you're calling them. They might not be in the mood to talk at that specific time. You know what I mean? So it's like lead the conversation and then get that other person into that conversation as well. But
I
I
ain't
want to circle back because I didn't
yeah.
answer on the quiet part. But for me, I don't. Very silly. So when I'm quiet, I'm not that comfortable around that individual to be my silly self just yet. So I'm never really quiet ever. Like in a conversation, I'm normally yapping. You might have to tell me to shut up 1, 2, 5, 6 times. Yeah.
I'm the impatient one on the phone. I'm the one that's like, what's up? Like, get to the point. What's popping? Like, what is it?
What you call me for?
Not even that.
Right.
Like, I just don't understand the holding of the phone and breathing. Like, or I get that you call me. Like I hate when people say I'm just calling you. I know. That's why I answered. What's up? Tell me what's
Right.
going on. That way, because I can go back and forth with whatever conversation we're going to have. If it's meaningful, if it's something that's going to be productive, and or if it's something that's going to be something that needs my attention. But don't
But
just say
if they
like
call you
stop.
now and
But
they're
stop with the telling me
quiet,
you calling me. I seen that. That's why I answered.
but if they're calling you and they're quiet, you clearly you know that they just want to hear your voice. I mean, don't because I
So
noticed
so
what
so
T
do you
said. That
suggest?
part can you hold the
All right. So
conversation?
this is me going through my learning, right? So if they call and say I just called and they're waiting to hear my voice, should I break out in song? Should I just start singing so they can hear my beautiful voice?
No, you're supposed to say, "Great, baby. I'm glad that you want to hear my voice, and I'm so happy to hear your voice." Just respond in a positive way. That's
Okay.
all.
So if I okay, let's stay there. So if I say, hey, I'm glad that you called. Here I am. What's next?
Well, I'm quite sure you would say it that cheerfully,
That way.
but somewhere along in those lines, just that well, that's great. I'm glad that you miss me. I miss you as well, or just something like that. Just don't throw us off. Just
It's
because we
not
say
throwing you off, but do you hear what you just said? Right? What's my customary line? Make it make sense. So you said earlier the gentleman has to initiate the conversation because you typically are not.
right.
So if you call my phone, you still want me to initiate the conversation because you're not.
Right.
Make it make sense. So you gotta have some sort of something in order for us to back and forth it. And I'm cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Some conversations, it depends on the person too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you could call a person and they can just start going right into they spill, right?
Right.
Mhm.
They could go right in like, yo, did you see what I just sent you? Or, yo, check it out. I gotta go do that. Some people just jump right in. And some
Mm-hmm.
people
I
don't know
agree.
how to jump right in for whatever reason. I see a number of different people that's posting comments saying it could be intimidating.
Mhm.
Um, um, they might not know the right things to say.
Mhm. The
And
attitude,
break out of
maybe
that
means
fear
that
if
the
you call.
attitude.
You
Mhm.
got to kind of break out of that fear if you're calling somebody for a purpose. Your purpose in calling that person is to talk to them.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
you may not be the most expert communicator or be able to articulate yourself as well as the person may want you to, but you got to have some sort of something. You got to have some sort of something in order for the conversation to go however you may need it to go.
That's why I say
Mhm.
there has to be some kind of common denominator with the two. They got to have something in common. I mean, I don't care if it's just you miss each other, you love each other, but you got to have something. You got to be missing each other the same. Let it be sports, whatever, but you got to have something that you both feel the same way about. Otherwise, you don't have anything to talk about.
That's not true.
Mhm.
That's not true. You
So
can come
now,
with.
do you feel like when I didn't mean to cut you off, but do you
Mhm.
feel like staying right there? Do you feel like that if you don't that there is always a common ground, and then we're going to get to T's tone situation, but do you feel like there's always a common ground that can be found in any conversation, whether you two necessarily don't have the same, say, taste in sports or even taste in music? Do you feel like a common ground can be had somewhere, or if you just don't have nothing in common, it's nothing in common all the way around the board?
I, it, I feel like there's some kind of common ground that could be had within any kind of type of situation, right? We go to work, we have conversations with people that we don't even know that we work with for 8 hours, and we go
Mhm.
home to our loved ones in our homes, and we have conversations with them. We can have conversations with total strangers about nothing, and it'd be fine. So it's just more or less finding that purpose. And even if you say I'm just calling to hear your voice, what you got going on today? You can ask that simple question, and the person can be like, "Oh, I ain't got too much going on. I think I was going to do this. I was going to do that." That opens the conversation for you really not to say much, but it's
Mm-hmm.
sparking the conversation. Then you can say, "Oh shit, that sounds interesting. Let me know
Mm-hmm.
how that go a little later when you get finished with it. I'm interested in hearing how that went."
Right.
Right.
Or you know what? I did the same thing. Or I watched the same movie a week ago. You're gonna get to the end. There's gonna be a cliffhanger. Now what happens? You
Something.
now you're giving substance to the conversation, and it's not just, "Hey, I just called to hear your voice. What you doing? How your day?"
Hmm.
And then after that, after I answer those three pertinent questions, "Hey, how you doing? I'm all right. What you up
Right.
to? On my way to work, or I'm at.
Yeah.
Oh, how you feel? I'm cool."
Well,
Then
don't
it's
be so
then
So
it's
excited to hear from
then
them
it then
now.
it's then
I know.
it's oh well, I just called. All right, that's cool, but
Well, we
that
get
can't
tied
be
in
every conversation.
conversation. Yeah.
That's cool when it's sometimes, but if it's all the time, it gets to it. You'll get that person that's just like, "What's up? What's good?"
Right. But
Like
let's
he
talk
said, that
about T
tone.
says the tone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That
Because
tone.
it was mentioned like tone can kind of set like whether you're quiet, like can set the tone of the conversation. If a person's tone is off, I guess they're saying that that could set them the conversation to start off either not good or lack of conversation, or is that what you guys are getting from that when somebody said it's the tone?
Well, what T is probably talking about, because we be saying, if you come at us too hard, it's the tone that you give. Now, as Nell said, when you call over and you say the same thing over and over, where you're saying the same thing over and over because you have not advanced from that one thing, but yet you still want to communicate. So that tone tells you, because Nell is bored with hearing the same old thing, which he should be, but that tone tells you that they are bored with you. So you're right. Sometimes it's that tone. And that tone can be anything from a tone of happiness to hear you, or a tone of, oh my God, this again, or a tone of what the fuck you want.
Oh,
Yeah. So tone says everything. No, we cannot control your tone, T. We are not saying that we cannot control your tone. And nobody should be able to control your tone, but
Hmm.
your tone is going to dictate to us how to come back at you.
well, or if we're thinking on the lines of maturity, right? Let's place ourselves out of take ourselves out of this. I gotta be emotional because it didn't go my way. Let's take ourselves out of that and say, "Damn, could the person one be having a bad moment? One, could I had to court the person at a bad time? Two, could it not be? Could it be more what our mind is making up than what the actual person is saying to us? Sometimes we be in our own mental space and we think the person is being rude to us. Might not be. We
Mm-hmm.
take our feelings and we exasperate them on the other person because it's easy to, and it stifles the conversation. The simple thing to ask is, what are you talking about? Are you
Hmm.
okay? What's wrong? And if there's something wrong, the person will say, I ain't having my best day. Or nothing is
Right.
wrong. I'm just not in the mood.
Right.
Or whatever the case may be. But we gotta stop internalizing every little tone and just be at it for its worth, because sometimes the person could be in the mood, but we can set that mood positive with just taking them somewhere else mentally. And that's what we gotta
Right.
start working on.
Hmm.
Because we said in December, a lot of people said the last week of December how they want to be better in 2023 than they was in 22, or they want to do things differently. Now this is the time to look at things from a different perspective and saying, you know what? Instead of me sitting up here over analyzing that person's tone, let me figure out what's bothering them,
Right.
or let me
Right.
switch to something that I know may be a hot button that's going to get them to kind of put a little smile on their voice,
Hmm.
or let me just call him back at a better
Call
time.
them back. Right, right. So Boss Man got a couple questions in the comments, y'all. He said one, so if my tone is off, do you forget or get quiet about what you wanted to talk about?
Oh, fuck that! I'm running right through I'm running
Right.
right through the red lights. Boop.
Yeah, me too.
I,
Me too.
my,
Me too.
my level of bullshit is very high. I'm with it. So if your tone is there, I'm like, yo, what's up? You all right? You cool? What's wrong? If you tell me nothing, I'm assume it's nothing. I gave you the
Right.
opportunity to tell me if it's something bothering you. If you don't tell me, that's on you. Too bad, so sad. But if you
Mhm.
tell me, then we can kind of talk about it, which is going to spark a conversation. I'm
Right.
not going to forget about the things I called about because I need to get the things I called about off my damn chest. I'm
Oh,
getting
I'll
old. I
forget
might
it.
forget.
I mean, I won't forget it, but I'll forget about even talking about it. So
Hmm.
I guess that would go in the category of get quiet because if I hear that tone, you don't want to be bothered. I'm not going to bother
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And Janine
Mhm.
says when you're dealing with a person who has an aggressive tone all the time, it's not easy to to deal.
And
And I
that's
would
true,
agree with that.
Janine. That's
Yeah, I
true.
would
I'm
agree with
agree
that.
100% because I'm one of those aggressive.
Hmm.
I'm one of those aggressive ones that has an aggressive personality. I have aggressive tones at times. I may not quote unquote be the easiest person sometimes to talk to. I get it. And when you understand that, you start to make the changes. But then, too, as my person, it could be family, friend, or loved one. There's certain things that you know your person for the dealing with. If it's nonsense and bullshit and they at work, say that shit to when they get home. If
So now are you aggressive just like regularly? Like if somebody's talking to you regular, or are you only aggressive when you're triggered?
yeah, when I'm triggered, no, I'm not a monster 24 hours a day. I'm a monster, but I ain't a monster all the time. It's that's tiring. It's not
Right.
real. It may seem like that when a person is trying to talk to you, but you got to understand too. A person has their own triggers, right?
Hmm.
Be it good, bad, or indifferent. A person has their triggers, and if you're coming at them with nonsense that could wait for a better time or whatever, then you gotta expect that back. You can't like this is what I tell people. You can't shoot at me and then think that I'm just supposed to put my arms around you and hug you. I am going to, but I'm gonna take a couple shots back.
Right.
And that's not me
Yeah.
being petty. That's not me trying to be, whatever. It's just sometimes our mental makeup. Now I'm learning to say, you know what? Fuck it. Let that person have that moment. I'm gonna tell them I'm not dealing with the nonsense. Hit me back when you offer that.
Hmm.
But if they don't understand and they want to keep it going, then that's when we're gonna keep it going.
Right.
But if they let me, if they give us that out, then they realize, and I realize that they not with the smoke, and then I'm not with the smoke, and we can
Right.
figure it out at the point when we both can be cool again.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good. Now, Angelia says, you're actually a very good conversationalist, even when it's a child. So
Thank you,
that's
thank you,
good.
thank you,
That's
thank you,
good.
thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Appreciate the compliment.
So, I mean, KD, like, how do you feel?
Oh, go back to let's put up Janine's comment. I want to address that.
Um, the aggression.
Hmm.
Okay.
So Janine says when you dealing with a person who has aggressive tones all the time, it's not easy to deal. That one plus the other one when she says that aggressive that aggressive shuts down. That's why I'm texting. That hit me to my core. Reason why I say that hit me to my core is because I'm not a person who does texting real well. I feel like it's a cop out. I feel like you get all your shit off and then don't want to address the shit that you got off.
Hmm.
And you want to hide behind those words. And it's cool if you say the aggressive tone or the aggressiveness bothers you. That's why you text it. But do you understand? You give aggressiveness off through text as well. So you're not exonerated from an aggressor either. People say a lot of words and put them in black and white and hide behind that and don't stand on it. And then when somebody checks them, it's, oh, well, you're being aggressive. But what is it that you done to make me get to that point? What is it that you said that put us in that situation?
Now,
So we
with the
got to
testing
understand
there,
certain times that you can't just say what you want to say to people and think that nobody can't say it back to you the way that they want to say it back to you.
now you mentioned they hide behind the words in text. I don't agree with that simply because you have it in black and white. Words will never go away. They text because they feel like that's the only way they get a chance to get their words out, their feelings out, because the aggression that they are met with in a phone call, that can make them too nervous to get the words out. They can't think, they can't formulate. So then they revert back. And then when they're able to formulate and think, they figure the best way that they can do it is through a text. So
So what
when
happens
y'all
if the
don't
other
read those
person?
texts,
So cool. What happens if the other person is not going to engage in that text and that form of communication?
and that is fine. Eventually, that's just going to be a relationship that just went the other way. I
Right,
mean,
because I was going to
because
say,
there's no
right.
communication.
Yeah, what happens then? Because if I can't communicate with you verbally,
Yeah,
and then the texts are, say, a misconstrued or whatever the case may be, then how are we effectively communicating?
you're not. So
Like, it's
eventually,
what
that,
happens then?
So you're
yeah,
saying that a person, so in order for us to communicate effectively, I gotta go back and forth with you through text.
no, you're
No,
not a
just some
texter.
form.
Yeah,
Right.
All right, so
just
all right, so
come back with the phone
I've
call.
been accused of this. I've been
Mm-hmm.
accused of you're only entertaining or you're only responding back to certain parts of the text, right?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm not gonna. I can't respond back to every sentence or every 100 bullet points that you had. If I respond back to something, I respond back to something. So this is where we say make it make sense. If you want me to address everything you say, I'm telling you how I communicate. Then
Mm-hmm.
call me.
Are
Call
you
me.
one of
You know
those
why?
people that
Because
communicate through? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. The reason why I say call me is we can address everything you say, even if the conversation gets heated. We still want to address everything that you said. And hopefully, after that heated discussion that we both can have, we'll find common ground and say, you make a good point. All right, I'm going to look at that and see, and I'm going to do that. Or I hear what you're saying. Now let me institute that, or let me change that, or let me figure it out. But give me the opportunity to explain it or to understand it in my form of communication. Don't just Don't just throw your way on me and say, this is how you got to deal. That's not fair.
Right.
What was you going to say, Ish?
No, I was basically going to say, like, you can communicate through being aggravated or your aggression. Can you complete the task while you're angry?
I can do a lot of.
The Yeah, the reason that I asked that is because you were saying like you didn't hit all of the bullet points on, say, text messages. So you
Mm-hmm.
get, a paragraph maybe, and it would be tackling certain things, and you will only respond to certain things. So if they can't communicate that to you through the aggression or just the being aggravated, and then it's not addressed in the text messages, where does it come to fruition? Where does it
Well,
come in?
for me, I can speak for myself, and I'm always speak for myself. When I call somebody, like let's say I get a book, a text message that's a book, right? I see it, and I know what the tone is. I see it. The first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write what you talking about. But more importantly, I'm probably gonna call and say, what are you talking about? You know why I ask that first before I jump out the window, or before I become the Incredible Hulk, or before we have anything, any words that come out of my mouth entertaining that? I am giving you the opportunity to tell Nell what you talking about. I'm giving you the floor. So if you got any issues, you got anything you want to say, I'm giving you that space to tell me what you're talking about. If you choose not to, again, that's on you. Because I'm giving you the floor, regardless of however the tone, the aggression, or however it is that the conversation may go. I am giving you the lane to tell me exactly how you want to start the conversation off. So you can't say, I ain't let you have your moment. Oh, you're not listening. Oh, you didn't hear nothing I said. The moment I ask you what you're talking about is the moment you should be able to explain to me what you said in that text. If you can't, then whose fault is that?
So, in what tone are you saying that, Nell? That's what Janine just said.
Again, didn't you say 5 minutes ago that you can't control somebody's tone? I
Exactly.
couldn't
No,
control
she
the way
just
you
asking
sent
if.
that text message, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna ask you off rip. See, this is the thing when you talk to when somebody send you something and you call them back, 9 times out of 10 they're not going to answer because they already know that they sent you something that no you calling for a reason, right? So already they thinking negatively, right? Two, if I ask you, well, what you talking about, and you respond, well, you know what I'm talking about, I don't. Instead of just coming off saying like, if I call somebody, I ain't got time for the ring around the rosy shit. I'm right to the facts. I'm right to the point. Boom, 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 boom. Because I don't have time for the fluff, and neither do you. And the problem that we got that we need to address ain't going to get fixed by fluffing it up. So let's get right to it. So if I call you and say, well, what you talking about? And you say, you know I'm talking about nothing, or I ain't entertaining that, then who is not fulfilling their own needs? You not. And we get super, we'll put people on boxes. Oh, that person is aggressive. Oh, that person is hard to deal with and hard to talk to. Oh, that person is this, that, and the third. But when you ask one something, am I hard to talk to or deal with? When shit going right and everything is cool, am I hard to talk to or deal with? I'm only hard and to deal with and hard to talk to when there's a beef or there's an issue. Or when you don't want to necessarily hear my side of the story or hear my opinion about what you're asking me. Because if you didn't want to hear my side, then don't even say nothing to me at all about it.
What's up, Prophet?
Yes, sir. What's up?
What's up?
What's up, man?
What's your take on it?
How's I'm doing so far first?
You good? You good?
Like episode 113
How's everybody doing, man?
is
Hold,
going to be
hold
the
on now.
Nell,
Hold
the
on,
Nell.
hold on now. Hold on now, because I'm gonna give you some bell, but give me a second. Hold on, hold on now. First, I want to say shout out to Nell and shout out to my brother Chris on Wednesday. We had a good Teller Made Kicks episode. For those who haven't seen that, check out Teller Made Kicks on Wednesday. We give out information. You know, I have this problem with people who are comfortable in being ignorant. that like pisses me off. That comfortability and ignorance is like, learn something, people. Jesus Christ. You can't just be satisfied in your own ways. You have to continue to learn and grow as a person, tackle on new things. As Aisha's working the board tonight, learn some shit, people.
Yeah.
It only
But
helps.
do they have to learn
I
only what
can.
you want them to learn?
I don't care what you learn something.
But okay, well, what if they learn things that interest them, but it just don't
Right.
interest you? So
That's
you don't know
cool.
if they learned it.
That's cool, KD. Tell me what you learned. That's all I said. Learn something. It don't gotta be the shit that I like or the shit that I'm interested in. What I'm talking about is the people that ain't learning nothing. It ain't got nothing to do with the shit that I like. Just learn something, people.
Learn something. That should be a part of the daily routine. I learn one new thing every day, even if it's a new word.
Right.
Like I make it a point, like to find something, even the smallest, most minuscule thing. I find
Right.
it. Like I don't know, a fun fact, a word, something. You should always be feeding your brain like all the time. And even more so when you're with a partner or, learning your partner. You should be learning things not only just individually, but together.
All right, now
Plus, two,
go ahead now.
if you're interested in a person, why are you closing your mind to
Right.
possibilities of things that you can learn to help you grow closer to your mate?
Right. If you're my person, I want to know all the shit that you like, and I'm going to be interested in all the shit that you like. Even if I don't like it per se, I'm going to learn about it just so I can get closer to you, so I can understand you better. When
Mm-hmm.
you sit there and be like, I don't give a fuck, that's what you like, and go ahead about your business, then you open yourself up to other shit. But that's a whole other conversation. But no, on that tone conversation, ladies, you cannot get quiet or forget your point just because the guy, or even if it's the female that you're calling, has a negative tone. You still have to say whatever you came to say.
It's not forgetting the point, it's just forgetting sharing it with you.
But that's
It's not that you forget the point.
then what did you call me for?
Well,
It's
talking
losing
each
the
other
fizzle.
point. But once we were
Right.
met with that tone, we figured you don't give a fuck. We're not
Katie,
gonna sit around and give a fuck either.
hold on now, Katie.
I ain't saying nothing.
It's not that I don't give a fuck. It's that I have other things going on.
But your tone tells
Whoa,
us
Katie.
that.
Whoa, Katie. It don't matter what my tone is. Say what the fuck you gotta say. Are you a child? That's what children do. Well, children shut up when you yell at them and don't say the shit that they want. You're a fucking grown up. Speak.
But sometimes that grown up may be walking away to keep from escalating a problem.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
know. I
Yeah.
do that a
that's
lot.
cool. That's
I do
not,
that a
there's
Yeah.
lot.
nothing wrong with walking
You gotta
away
walk away to keep from
to save.
escalating.
There's nothing wrong with walking away to save face and continue with at another time when you're able to equally be open to the possibilities of having a conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
you got to stop trying to dictate the
Right.
way a person
Right. You
responds
don't
that
control
makes it
the tone.
comfortable for you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a genuine conversation.
If you
Because if
got
we're controlling the
listen,
narrative,
no,
then
if
just
they
have a
got a
conversation.
fucking attitude and this their time of the month, whatever you think, I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm hungry, but I ain't gonna say nothing because it's her time of the month and I don't want her to snap. No, I'm gonna be like, I'm fucking hungry. What the fuck you gonna do to me?
Yeah.
Fuck is wrong with y'all? Fucking speak, man.
Yeah, like
So
I
does
just don't.
that irritate y'all? Like us, like the women not speaking when they're
Yes,
feeling like stifled in a sense? And I'm gonna say
yes.
stifled because
That is irritating because it's not helping us progress as a couple, as
Yeah.
a unit. It's not helping us move forward as a unit if you're not saying the shit that's on your mind or in your heart because you're afraid of how I'm going to react. If you have something on your mind or in your heart that you need to get out, you got to get that shit out no matter what my response is going to be. Because you holding that shit in is not doing none of us no good.
But what if every time they come to you, they're met with the same tone?
It don't matter, KD.
Yeah, because that would get old.
KD, that tone don't matter. I don't care if your tone is nasty as fuck every day. If I got something to say, you think I'm gonna be like, nah, I ain't
You
saying
better than me.
that. You
Because
think
I
I'm like,
can't
nah,
deal
I ain't
with
saying that.
nastiness every
No, I'm
time.
fucking saying whatever the fuck I gotta say. I don't give a fuck what your tone is.
yeah, I feel like that's how I feel like you have to know the person that you're communicating with. Like you have
Yeah.
to know if that's a possibility or not. Because sometimes, you are going to shut up so that it does not escalate. And then there's other times
Wait,
where,
hold on,
mhm.
that's some fear shit. So if you in fear of the person that you're talking to, you talking to the wrong motherfucker. If
That's
you're
true.
if you're in fear
That's
that this shit is going to escalate to a different point, you're talking to the wrong person. And that's
right. Yeah, I agree. But I mean,
And yeah,
all the
Nell
time,
is
it's not
probably
like,
easy to talk to, ladies.
mm,
We're not saying that. Please don't get it wrong. We're not saying that Nell RT is not easy to talk to. We're saying in general.
No,
No,
I'm
no,
gonna keep
nobody's
it.
not saying
I'm
every
gonna stand
female.
on 10 toes here. I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna own my own. I'm gonna own my truth. And I will say, yes, I do have aggressive tendencies sometimes in conversations. Why? Because I don't deal well with nonsense.
what
I
I was about to
don't
say.
don't deal well.
My shit ain't gonna be aggressive, but I will laugh at you because you said some dumb shit.
I don't deal well with
Don't take it
negativity.
personal. Just fucking say whatever you got to say.
Yo, and you know what? This is the thing. This is the thing. I allow people to have their feelings and say what they want to say. You can say what you want to say, but please understand that I can say what I want to say too, within reason, right? And we can have that tug of war, because hopefully what's going on in that tug of war is we're outlining the problem. I'm hearing you, you're hearing me, we're hearing each other. Tones, I don't care about that tone, because I am listening to what the person's saying, because I'm able to regurgitate my feelings or my opinion on that matter back to you. So I'm hearing you and I'm understanding. At the end of the conversation, I'm internalizing that and I am going to move accordingly. So please don't take the aggressiveness. Don't take whatever the conversation lends itself to me not listening, because damn it, I'm listening. I'm hearing you and I'm accepting of that.
Hold on now.
I'm just saying, just talk to me.
Can you put
however you want to talk to me, just talk to me. But talk to me.
The nonsense comment. Yeah, it may be nonsense to me, and it may be everything to you. What I'm saying is, even if I laugh at you and you're taking it as I'm making a joke of you, I'm still listening.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm laughing and making a joke or whatever, I'm still listening. You have to still get out what you came to say.
Absolutely. Because the same way y'all say, oh, I shut down when the tone is not representing the way my feelings wanted to be represented at that moment. I'm still listening, regardless if it's nonsense or not. I'm still entertaining it. So I can think anything is nonsense. So even if you say it and I feel like it's nonsense, I'm still listening, and I have the right to feel how I want to feel about the information that's being thrown at me and how I'm internalizing it. But the thing about it is, give me the opportunity to hear it. If you choose not to speak it because you're in fear of the tone or you're in fear of anything, we're hurting ourselves. But I will say this. There comes a time when there's a maturation process that takes place, and you realize within yourself, damn, I need to be a little softer. I don't have to make this a war.
Wait a minute, Nell. I can't laugh.
You can laugh. But I'm speaking on my own, right? I can understand where I say, you know what? Every interaction doesn't have to be aggressive. We may have had our aggressive moment here, but now I get it. Because this is where consciousness kicks in. I have a conscience as well as feelings for you being my lover, my friend, and or family. I say, we had that aggressive moment. Now here's the time when we now need to get to an understanding of what's going to make it better. Right? So that's when you start to get the conversations where it's, all right, cool. We had that moment. We had the fight, the drag out shit. People said what they said. I said what I said, whatever. But here comes the tender side that I have as well that says, all right, we had that moment. What are we going to do about it?
Right.
And now we should be a mature adults to say, damn, he at least came to me and said, what are we going to do about it? Let me explain what my needs are. And if he's willing to listen to me, tell him what I need, he's willing to do the things that I need him to do, and vice versa. So yes, a person can be aggressive. A person can have their ways about them. But if they double back and allow you to have that moment of fixing whatever needs to be fixed, then that's where we need to find a common ground at. And if not, then are you being true to yourself? That's why I said people can't throw shots and think people not going to throw shots back. But
that's where the trouble come in. That's why some of them will walk away, because
why is that? Hold on, Katie. Why is that trouble? Because you wanted to throw shots and then you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you throw on
shots. Hold on, Katie. So you wanted me not to say nothing after you threw your shots?
Okay. Well, first of all, T, if I'm throwing a shot, if I come at you throwing a shot, I'm throwing a shot because I feel like there's a problem.
Right.
It's not going to fix the problem if I throw a shot, you throw a shot, I'm going to throw a shot back. That's just going to again
That's not
escalate the
necessarily
problem.
true.
Now back to your laughing
That's
part,
not
what you
necessarily
said.
true, KD.
Now back to the laughing part. I could actually accept the laughter because
No, you
believe
couldn't.
it or not, even though
No, you
you're laughing
couldn't.
at
I,
how
I
crazy
guarantee
we
you
are,
couldn't.
Yeah,
that
I guarantee
laughter
you couldn't.
I guarantee you
I
couldn't because
could
you going. You know what? The
because
first thing you're gonna think
that
is, "Oh, I'm a joke."
laughter that laughter could turn it into a joke in the moment to where we can both, like
Yeah.
it could lighten the mood.
I call cap.
I call cat.
I mean,
Because
that does happen though.
the
Because
first thing
I'm a
that y'all
funny
gonna say to us
person.
if we start laughing when you say something is, you find it funny, or I'm a joke,
Right.
oh, you don't take nothing serious. That's
Right.
what it's gonna be. It ain't gonna be. He's so fucking crazy.
Right.
No, you're
Well,
not
that
gonna look
depends
at
on
it
what
like
you're
that because
laughing at us
you
about.
already women.
Now, if
Y'all
I come
already
to you
told
and
us,
say that,
KD. You already
Not at
told us
all.
that when you coming from an emotional place a
Right.
thousand times
Hold on,
a
hold
day.
on, no, hold on, no, KD. When my son is having his anxiety issues, I'm always fucking laughing. And I'm not. It's not that I'm not taking him seriously. That's just my personality. That's just how I
yeah,
respond.
and I do agree with that. That
I'm
once we
still
learn your
listening.
personality,
That's what I'm
we know your
saying.
personality.
I'm still
Yeah.
listening to him, and I'm still, taking in what he's saying, and I'm still calculating how to fix the problem. But I am gonna fucking laugh because that's my personality.
Well, and I think too, it's all of depends on how the person is how they are a receiver. Like some people might not be able to roll with those punches. Like some
Right.
people just have a softer disposition and they're just the laughter, the harsh words or the harsh delivery, like they just might not be built for some receiving it that way. You know what I mean? It don't always mean necessarily that, your laughter is malicious, but
Right.
that person just might be so sensitive that they just can't accept it the way that it's really
So I
coming
got a question.
across.
So if I'm talking to somebody that's sensitive, am I supposed to cater my personality to them?
If you want that person in your life, and that's what it takes.
Really?
That no, again, if you want that person in your life, and that's what it takes to get
these,
inside,
these
then
these
yes.
these are people in my life. These are family members, KD. So they're in my life regardless. So now, am I supposed to cater my personality to make you feel better? That's what I'm asking.
No, because they already know how you are, so no.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, right.
If they know
And
you, they know you.
mhm.
I mean,
And I feel
and
like the right person, and I agree with KD. I feel like the right person is going, even speaking of family, but then even speaking of relationships. Like I feel like once the person knows you and learns you, they're going to understand you more and more. They're going to understand that some of your sarcastic comments or your aggression, no, is not in a bad space, in a place. It is who you are, and then they are, coming to a happy medium and communicating with you.
mm-hmm.
So this is a thing that I do have. I do go through with my son. Sometimes even him or my daughter, or maybe even other people outside of them, may say, I don't tell you certain things, or I don't always come to you first because I feel like you're gonna laugh at me, and I'll be like, at some point you're gonna have to come to me regardless. So if once you get past the laughter shit, I help you, right? And they be like, yeah. So what the fuck is the problem? Get over your sensitive asses.
I agree with that. I'm gonna second that because I heard somebody that was near and dear to me, love to death, tell me that they feel uncomfortable talking to me. Right? And I chuckle at that every time I hear that. And you know why I chuckle at that? Is because I've taken that person out of situations or put them in situations that they never experienced before, which
Right.
were positive experiences, life-changing experiences, things that if I had harm, you would never had experienced. So to hear that, knowing what the real truth is, it's bothersome because it's like, do you not see and feel? Do you not see or understand all the things that
Right.
you experience with,
Right.
but you don't? You feel uncomfortable talking, and I internalized that. Right, I internalized that because we always want to make sure that we're especially people that care are able, our people can come to them and to us and talk to us all the time, feel safe around us, be comfortable. And when you hear things like that from people that you love, it's difficult to hear. But then too, it's funny to hear as well when you know what reality really, really is, and putting them in situations that has changed their lives for the better. Right? So it's a double-edged sword. But um what I say to people is this, right? Everybody has their makeups, right? Everybody has something that the next person ain't always going to be in agreement with and or tolerant of at all points. But it always goes back to this one sentence that we utter all the time here, especially the gentleman of the show is, if you like that person or love that person, figure it out. Don't just be ready to jump ship. Because sometimes a person can be doing their own internal investigation on the things that you've brought to them, or even trying to change their ways. And it's a slow, gradual process for some. And it's a slap of the finger for some as well. But a person who's willing to make the change and wants to make the change is going to change when they are ready to, not because you tell them to.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they're not working on it. So if you love a person and you care about that person, give that person their time to figure it out. And when they get that time, I guarantee you, when once you see it, you'll start to be able to appreciate it because it's genuine. It's not contrived because you made them do it, or they're conforming based upon what you said your feelings or emotion was. They actually are changing for the betterment of them, which is also going to better you. So, look at things from that perspective and stop looking at everything that's going to hurt you or everything needs you to run away from it immediately. Because it's not always the case.
The dog needs to go or get in, go.
You want to get in?
Yeah.
Trying to damn
Oh
break
my
in.
God.
Move. I'm sorry.
No, we have to move on. This is episode 113, everybody. This episode is strictly called the podcast about nothing. Does anybody know what that symbolizes?
We freestyling.
Freestyling.
I specifically put
Nothing
that.
in Pacific.
Nah,
Right.
I specifically put that on the banner for a reason, with the logo placed in a certain way. Do y'all know where that comes from?
Mm-hmm.
Where does it
Well,
come
what comes from? See the logo?
Seinfeld.
It comes from Seinfeld. What does it mean, though?
Actually, is what's the name's album cover as well.
Facts.
Wale.
Wale's cover letter.
Wale's cover. You know what I mean?
The theory.
See, I never
behind-
watched Seinfeld, so
Right.
I already automatically said Wale.
I've watched it before.
But Wale named his album,
What does that mean, Katie?
album about nothing.
I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about. What? The logo?
Where it says the podcast about nothing, what does that mean?
Oh, it just mean we just shoot the shit.
Now, it's an oxymoron.
Mhm.
Actually,
Nothing but everything.
right.
Nothing but everything. It's going to cover everything. We're going to talk about everything tonight.
So
Like
y'all
we do
can put y'all
Thursday.
topics or questions in the chat as well. We're gonna spin off into different things and just talk about whatever's on anybody's mind or whatever comes about. And that's what episode 113 is.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
I've been doing homework. I've been doing research. I'm getting ready. I got ready for tonight, and I have some questions tonight that has to do with a little bit about everything about nothing. Is it true that men love unconditionally and women love on conditions? I was watching this podcast today, and a guy said men love unconditionally, where a woman's love comes when her conditions are met. How do y'all feel about that?
But y'all love unconditionally. I don't quite agree with that. I
Do
think
you not agree with that because it
everyone-
sounds negative?
Right.
and it doesn't, and you think it paints the women in a
Not big
bad
in
light.
y'all up because it's not big in y'all
No, I'm just saying it's not realistic because everyone loves conditionally.
So do you so KD, so the question is, do you think a man will be with a woman that's not servicing him or doing anything for him before a woman would be with a
No.
man? Which one do you think will go first?
I mean, if that man is not getting anything from that woman, he's not gonna stay with her.
False.
That's
I don't think
that's,
so.
that's not
False.
true at all.
False.
That's false.
Yes,
False.
that's false.
They gonna stay, KD. They gonna stay, but they gonna go out and get their dicks up.
Not
Right.
necessarily.
That's
Okay,
just that's
gotcha.
it. That's
Right,
it,
right,
right?
right.
Gotcha.
So we're
Not
not gonna leave
necessarily.
y'all though. We're not gonna leave
Not,
y'all though. We're
not
not gonna leave
necessarily.
y'all.
Now, the reason why I asked this question because it's one of those things that split the genders right down the middle. You're going to have women on one side saying, "Hell no, men, no, we don't love with conditions, and men don't love unconditionally." Da da da. And then you have men on the other hand who knows what it feels and looks like for us to love, but also us needing to be a certain thing for our women in order for them to stay and be in love with us. Right? Here's a fun fact. A lot of the things that we bring to you, we like to bring factual information. I know I do. 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Why?
Really?
Because when their conditions are not being met,
They out.
they tend to want to leave.
And see, I will agree with that, but I think that it's that way because women will leave before a man because the man always say it's cheaper to keep her, number one. So they don't want to make change. They would rather just stay there in the marriage and go outside and get their dick sucked somewhere else.
Let's
and
get
just
let's
be.
get off the dick
Whereas
suck.
the
Let's get
woman,
off the
That's
dick
what
suck.
I'm
That's
about
not
to
real.
say.
That's
That's what
not
I'm
real.
about to say. I don't
Let's get off
appreciate
the let's stop painting us as dick monsters, like dick suck monsters. That's not all we are. Just
right.
consumed with getting our dick sucked.
okay,
Like
Right.
so,
okay. But
basically,
either way, I think that the man will stay in it more because they are that's their family. They don't want to break away from the norm.
Right.
Whereas a female would get tired of not feeling the love, not feeling emotion.
You're proving
But I
that
also
so you're proving the point.
That's
That's with
what
conditions.
you're proving
no,
that
but
point.
wait,
Well,
no,
yeah,
but
we
wait. I
like that
also
indie thing.
but here's two, KD. I also feel like women, like, think about how long it is before we actually remove ourselves from any situation.
Yeah,
Like, think about
exactly.
how long it is that we continue to deal with shit that's not meeting our conditions. And I'm
Exactly.
not
Take it
talking
for a
about
long
6
time.
months or a year or 2 years or whatever the
Years,
case may be. I'm talking
even.
about years. I'm talking about women that stay in situations maybe 10, 15 years before they are met with the I can't do any more of my conditions not being met. So I do understand that women, we definitely chuck up the deuces and we definitely be ready to dip, but how long before that had we been dealing with those
Exactly. How long
lack
did
of
we take it?
conditions? So we had to take that into consideration too.
Absolutely, that there are great points. Aisha, I can appreciate your point. Right? Let's stay there. What happens if a man walks out because he's tired and he's not fulfilled and he's been putting up with things and he's feel like he's been mistreated and he's been lied to and whatever the case may be, and he walks out on his relationship? Will he be looked at as no good, or will he be looked at as being strong because he left something that wasn't fulfilling to him?
Wait a minute.
I think that depends on what he left.
Wait a minute. Did Cynthia just say she don't love her kids unconditionally?
I think that depends on what he left, Nell.
No, hold on, KD. Cynthia is in the comments saying that she doesn't love her kids unconditionally.
Right. So is she saying she doesn't because God does?
Right.
And that her love has no
I
conditions?
understand exactly what Cynthia is saying, and I agree with you 100%, Cynthia. She's not saying she don't love them. She's saying that they come with conditions.
You love your kids unconditionally, KD. What the fuck are we
Well, yeah,
talking
you're gonna love them, but I think what Cynthia mean is that you're still gonna see their faults, and God doesn't see our flaws. Now he does see flaws,
that's
but
that's
I get
that's
what you're
what
saying, Stephanie.
unconditionally means, KD. It means you love even with the faults. That's
Right,
what it means. So you do love
right.
them unconditionally. What are we
Well, most
talking
people
Right.
about?
do.
But she's saying, but Cynthia's saying only God loves unconditionally. So placing, I guess she's saying placing it on a human is unfair because only God does.
I don't believe that because there's certain people that you love that do dirty shit to you all the time, and you still love them. So
Yeah,
you
you're
can love
gonna
them.
love them regardless.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, through the
Mm-hmm.
flaws and everything.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the next question now?
So my next question, and it's still a part to that, is who has commitment issues then?
Men,
Men
Can you explain?
first.
Can you explain why men have commitment issues?
I think it scares them
I don't
to
know what
be.
conditions y'all got with y'all kids, but go ahead, KD.
I I think it scares a single man to think of being with only one woman.
Why
You
is
know,
that?
if they really get into commitment and not go in it with thinking, okay, you know, even though I'm committed to this one, I'm still gonna step out. If you go in with a true commitment,
Can I can I can
I
I
think it scares you.
can I speak on this, KD? First of all, nothing
Sure.
that you little fucking women do scare me. secondly, secondly, we don't go in thinking that the one woman cannot, suffice. It's the consistency of that woman. It's the she's in her emotions, so now she don't feel like saying hi to me today. Nobody got time for that shit. That's what it is. It's not a commitment issue. It's a consistency issue.
Right.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, so
But that's, and I would say that it's men though, even still just with that piece of bit of information, that's
Right.
what I feel like holds back from the man saying first, hey, listen, I want to commit to you and I want you to be my one and only.
now does a woman's commitment to a relationship come with stipulations?
What you
Because if it
mean?
comes with stipulations, then there's issue with that,
What do
right?
you mean stipulations?
In order for me to commit to you, you got to show me that you're a stand-up guy. In order for me to commit to this relationship, you got to show me that you're my protector and my provider. In order for me to commit to being in a relationship with you, you have to show me that you're worth something for me.
Well, that's just showing them that they can trust you. I mean, if that's what it takes for them to feel the
That's screaming
trust,
gold.
then yeah.
That's screaming gold digger. But go ahead.
That's not the
Not
gold
gold
digger.
digger.
No.
Gold
Not
digger, but
gold
go
digger.
ahead.
That's
So
not a gold
does that
digger
not
because I'm quite
so
sure that they're taking care of themselves before they even meet the person.
so
But they want to know. I mean,
does that still add fire to the claim that there are commitment issues on both men and women, and not
Yeah,
just men?
yeah.
Because the easy
There's
thing
commitment issues. There's commitment issues on both.
on
I would
both.
say that I would say that men do have more commitment issues than women because women are easier that they easier commit, but men it's not out of fear that men are not committing.
I don't
It's
know what
out of
Diana's saying. That's
it,
not
it's
unconditional.
it's out of greed. It's out of a lot of different shit. It's not out of fear though.
Yeah, I don't know what that
Don't
means.
ever say
Diana,
that
that's
dick
not
me.
unconditional. I didn't say conditional. I mean unconditional. I said are commitment issues. Are
All right,
both sides who has commitment issues?
right. Well,
The vast majority, the moment you ask those questions, the first thing a person will say is men.
man.
yeah.
And not necessarily true. I would actually
Hmm.
take the road of women highlighted where men have commitment issues, and men have highlighted the aspirations of women having commitment issues, and it's a both. It's both. It's not just one. Both parties have commitment issues, whether it be understood or not. You know,
Mhm.
when we get out of that, men, that finger pointing, the first time a question is asked, instead of us digesting that question, letting it sit on our minds and then allowing it to come off our tongues, the first thing that we'll do is we'll finger point first. Why? It's because it's easy to do instead of internalizing
Absolutely.
and saying, shit, I got some issues with them myself. Yeah, I got some
Yeah.
commitment issues. I'm not committing to this person unless I see that they can do this and that, and they can bring this to the table, and they can do that, and they can do that, right? That's on
Mm-hmm.
both parties. But when you solely will shoot right off the hip and say, "Oh,
Hold on,
women
hold on, hold
or
on,
men,
no, hold on, no. Is that a commitment issue, or is that you're not qualified for this position?
you're not qualified,
Could
right?
be
You're not
not
qualified.
qualified, right?
There's
I get what
You're
you.
qualifications
not
that you need to
qualified
have.
for this position.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily
Mhm.
mean commitment issues, but a woman highlight where men have commitment issues here. We highlight the fact that women have commitment issues here, and we don't hear each other.
Right.
Right? We don't hear each
So,
other. All we hear
mhm.
is men, women. No, that's not true. It goes both ways. We'll throw out all these innuendos before we listen to what it really is that the parties are both saying, and
Right.
we can dispel those issues because we now starting to hear what both parties have to say.
Yeah. So Lynette Hardy says, no, those things that you listed are not commitment issues. They're standards.
Absolutely. And I agree with you, Lynette. I agree with you. Those things are not commitment issues. Those are standards that you as a person have to have and have to be able to stand on, right? You have to be able to, if this person says these are my standards, and I am not going forward with you with it and with you no further unless you have these things. Absolutely, there are standards, and we should be living by these standards. We should be living by these things, and we should be also hearing exactly what that person needs if they're telling it to you and saying and moving in accordance. I had to learn the hard way, right? If you're willing to understand your mistakes, you have to be willing to say, shit, there's certain things that I've done in relationships, current relationship, prior relationships, that was the reason why it is no longer, or it's the way it is, right?
Right.
I wasn't living up to her standards or even my own standards. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do. And
That's just
then
accountability now. That's just
you
accountability.
have to be accountable,
Accountability.
but not only accountability now, you have to put those things into play. If you say this is the way you want to live, you got to live that shit. And the harsh
Yeah.
reality is certain situations will be put first in front of us, and it makes us grow up real quick. And you're like,
Yeah.
damn, I should have did that. And you're trying to double back because you realize the error in your ways, and you say, you know what, I need to do
Can
these
we
very things.
can we look at Cynthia's trust issue, John? Because she says
Oh,
she got
before we do that, I love the fact that we got a lot of new names
right.
here.
Mhm.
We got a lot of
Mhm.
new names. Thank you, Lynette. And I know these it's certain people that have been watching this that don't comment, but
Right.
thank you, Lynette. Thank you, Mila. Thank you to JC. Thank you to all the people that's coming on here and entertaining these topics with us tonight. We totally appreciate it. Go ahead, T.
I was trying to say if you have trust issues, how do you expect somebody to commit to you and trust you if you got trust issues?
And
Yeah,
that is
that's
true. Yeah.
difficult. That is true. That is true. But then it's like finding a medium where you both can, tackle the things that are necessary to get to a happy space. So if you are dealing with an individual who has trust issues or, just like communication issues or whatever the case may be, then find a happy space for the both of you to be able to break through those barriers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Instead of your trust issues, how about you treat me accordingly? Like if I haven't done anything to violate your trust, why don't you trust me? Like if I just meet somebody, I don't automatically walk through the door like I don't fucking trust these motherfuckers because I don't know them and whatever. I'm going to let you play your hand. Like
Right. And then you may not walk in saying, I don't trust you, but you definitely got your third eye out. You definitely side eyeing until you know that person it has your best interest at heart.
right,
So
but you
yeah,
have to also you have to be aware regardless. We from the hood. You got to be aware
right.
regardless. But you also have to be open to the experience of it. You can't just walk in with your trust issues and expect somebody to fully commit to you and fully put their trust in you when you don't trust them.
So let me ask this question. If you get a female who has trust issues,
I leave her alone at the door. Bye.
Okay,
Mhm.
that was gonna so
Yeah, that was I was going to say. Y'all just
that was
dipping
gonna
off.
be my question
It's
right
not
there.
me.
Do you find it worthy to try to make her feel secure and make those trust issues because the trust issues will disappear when she have trust issues. She just need reassurance. That's all.
Hmm. Hmm.
I,
And sometimes reassurance might not happen right away.
That's
Sometimes
right.
the reassurance may need to reoccur every so often in order for her to get in that comfortable space where she just, opens up to you 100%.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
but what I mean in that, and I don't want it to sound harsh, but what I mean in that is that if you're not self sufficient and you're not self secure in who you are and what you are and all of that shit, I just don't have time for it. I'm 42. I don't got
Hmm.
time for it. Like, I'm cool.
Yeah, I
No,
mean, and I get that nobody wants like to be playing around. Like nobody literally has time, you know what I mean, to indulge or engage with an individual that's not going to be, open to love or open to learn, another individual or open to receive. Like some people just are not in the same space, and it's good to like notice that in the beginning before shit gets long gone, and then it's like what the fuck are we doing, because it's just a
Right.
waste.
so that's my question. Is like, would you want to be with somebody that's questioning themselves every fucking day?
Well, no,
No,
not every day. That's
No,
the
like,
same as meeting someone
right,
who
right.
is aggressive every day. You get tired of meeting the same old thing every day. So, of course, I mean, if they are questioning you every day,
no, not questioning me, questioning
Questioning
themselves.
yourself,
Every
right,
oh,
day.
right,
right, being insecure in
Right.
yourself. Yeah.
right,
No, that's just like with anything else. You're going to get tired of it. He's going to get tired of hearing it, or she's going to get tired of hearing it.
mm-hmm.
It's going to be, not only do you want your partner to grow with you, but you got to want to grow within yourself as well. Like you got to
Exactly.
start, removing the blinders and seeing exactly where it is that you lack and where you could build and be stronger. So,
Mm-hmm.
What's up, man?
Mm-hmm.
What's next? Y'all got questions in the
I
chat?
can take a chance on somebody
yeah,
Y'all
and
got
I and I
with
and
trust
I
questions
actually
issues.
in the
second
chat.
JC's point. Actually, second JC's point. JC, I can take a chance on somebody with trust issues. And so can I. I'm one of those ones that if I like you, I like you. Like I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I if because I know what I like and what I don't like, and if I got feelings for you, I got feelings for you, and the harsh reality of that is once that person is no longer in your life, right?
Hold
And,
on,
and
hold on, hold on. Now let's stay right there. She got trust issues, right? Now every time you go to the door, every time you go to the store, every time you answer your phone, every fucking single thing, she like, what's that? Who that? Where you going? All these fucking, you dealing with that every fucking day?
mhm.
see, that's the thing.
That's a bit
The the,
much.
That's
the
what I'm saying.
I'm never gonna let nobody persuade me and tell me that's crazy because you put up with what you want to put up with.
All right.
So if you willing to put up with
That's
that
that's what I'm asking you. Are you? Can you put up with that?
to a certain extent, because I had yes, I would, because you know what, that person's presence is more important to me than the mental fuck that's going on in their mind, right? But then I also too have to be cognizant of what's going on,
Mm.
and I have to make sure, because we all have a job to do in our relationships, regardless of if you think so or not. We all have a job to do. One, to be real to ourselves and be true to ourselves, but also two, to be with that same with our partner. So if you know you what you got yourself into, you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
Cynthia, if you guard your heart, you're not opening your heart to somebody. So you have to take that in mind as well.
Yes,
Because
Cynthia, they've been preaching that to
what
me.
happens if something happens and they are no longer in your life the way that they used to be? They're not
Right.
answering your phone calls. They're not answering your texts. You just want to have a simple conversation with them. You just want to whatever. You gonna miss that shit. That shit is going to eat at you. It's going to tear at you. It's going to break you down to a point where all you can do is get your shit in order, because you don't want to experience that again with no one else. Or if the opportunity ever presents itself for you to ever make amends, you want to make sure that the fears or the situations or whatever that conversation was that separated you doesn't rear its ugly head, and you can then move within your space correctly. That shit right there is maturity and growth, and that's what we should be striving to get. And the shit, hopefully, it doesn't take a breakup or something catastrophic to happen for you to for the light bulb to go off. But when the light bulb does go off, you got to make sure that you're opening your eyes so you can see and around what's around and fixing the things that's around you, because now your vision is hopefully clear and you can recognize those mistakes that you've made and fix them.
I
Now,
agree with
as far as how you put it, you know, somebody question you every move. Yeah. I know this couple, and the female have to track where he is at all times. I'm saying, know by phone exactly where he is at all times. If he goes somewhere, calling up while you there. If she call and he don't answer the phone, she thinks something is up. Even requests to go through his phone from time to time, because she said her women intuition is making her feel like he's cheating. Request to go through the phone. Now get this, he actually gives her the phone. All right. When she get the phone, she see nothing. She said, well, you just took everything out because you knew I was gonna look. Now that type right there,
there's no hope for that. There's no hope for that. And everything is not always going to be perfect, right? There's no hope for that. There's going to be extenuating circumstances where it's just like, damn, she's just so far gone, or she's just so messed up, or she's just so scarred from whatever took her to that point. Right.
Hold on now, because I wanted to speak on one of Cynthia's points. She said it takes time. Yes, it does take time, Cynthia. But I just want to employ to y'all that time is not waiting for you. So all this time that y'all are sitting around waiting for it to take time is not waiting for you. And as long as time is moving on, you're losing out on time. So yes, there's a possibility that you can get hurt, but that's a part of life. You have to live life. You cannot be sitting back in your fear of getting hurt and your fear of whatever it is. This is life. Either you're going to live it or you're going to sit in the house and sit in your little square by yourself. It's just the way it is.
And see, that's what I mean about when I ask how long are you willing to stay if someone is insecure? If you can see the insecurity or the fear in that person, and you really do like that person, and you know that you can break through. Once you break through that wall, you are in that wall, and that person's going to trust you.
I don't believe that, Katie. I like when you see that kind of shit from the gate, it's always there, even though they might not.
I don't agree with that.
Even if they might not ask you 45,000 times that they used to, it's still there, and it's still going to come up at some point.
I mean, as far as like breaking through the wall of them being secure enough to love freely, because once you break that wall and they love you, then yeah, they're going to love you. That's not to say that they're not going to come at you with insecure shit at times, but once you break through that wall and they love you, then that love is there.
What are we? How long are we waiting on this wall? 10 years?
Well, I mean, that depends on how. Again, relationships take work.
I ain't 20.
They take work, but
Katie, I could do that at 20. I ain't 20. I can't do that at 40.
Well, you just have to get what you like. I mean, you just have to choose the type of relationship that vibes with you.
All right, so check this out.
And I think what people, wait a minute, Nell, before you move on, I think what people fail to realize is the heart is a miraculous fucking organ, guys.
Right.
It can do so many miraculous things. It has so many emotions attached to it. Like, just because you've been hurt, or it's been damaged a little bit, it recuperates. it rebuilds, it restores. So therefore, like, utilize it. Utilize it. Open yourself up to love. Open yourself up to receive. Even if, it may not, we don't know the promise if it's going to be this magnificent fairy tale or this magnificent friendship. We don't know. You know what I mean? But the moment you limit yourself, it's detrimental to you, and it's detrimental to your heart. It's not allowing it to be effective. So people should, start utilizing that organ that we have and use it for what it's made for.
So I know y'all seen it. It's been out there, and it's been out there on social media. It's been everywhere. The young lady who hit her boyfriend upside his head with a
With the
bowling
ball. A mess.
ball. Was it warranted?
Warranted? Why was it warranted? What he did?
No, I'm asking. Was it warranted? Do you think you get up in somebody's face, you bring that energy, you deserve what you get, or is that a sign of abuse? And if it was your son, you would be so upset about it, or do you feel like the female felt and taking matters into her own hand and backing homie up off her?
I need to know what he did.
They were arguing back and forth. She just got tired, hit him over the head with the bowling ball.
I'm not mad at that, man.
No, see, like,
Cause Ish, I got a parameter, right? Like, don't cross my parameter. Like, if once you cross my parameter, it's no holds barred. Like, all things go. Like,
yeah, I'm very on the fence about the physical, like the physical aspect of arguments. It could definitely get heated and it could go from 0 to 100 real quick. I'm one of those people, and I have to, like,
that's what I'm asking. Was this her boyfriend or was this just some nigga?
No, it was her boyfriend.
He was arguing at the time.
They was arguing at the time. And I feel like that.
I need to know what he did, man.
Yeah. and mind you, I feel like there has to be a point, there has to be a threshold, a cutoff, where you're like, all right, wait, this is going too far. This nigga done did, X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case may be. But I'm not about to jeopardize my freedom from some shit that he did. So let me fall back a little bit and let me get myself together. Let me contain my thoughts and my energy before I really hurt this. You know what I mean? So I feel like it needs to be a threshold, and sometimes there's not.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I told y'all, I know the girl who her husband got her sister pregnant. So it depends on what he did. Like, if you do some shit, not to be in that parameter. Like, why are you that close to motherfuckers? And so it depends on what you did.
Right. That's true. That's true.
So
I don't. Go ahead now.
So to jump back to one of the points that we talked about before, as far as breaking down this wall, because this wall, right? This wall that is up, this great concrete wall, metal wall, whatever kind of wall it is a wall. And Lynette says again, she says that they break through the wall and hurt you because they have underlying issues. What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on breaking through the wall, but they hurt because they have their own underlying issues?
Hold on, who's doing the hurt? Who's doing the hurt? And the person that
so I guess the person that broke through the wall, right? They were able to break through this wall, and if Lynette's still able to chime in with another comment to reinforce her point, they break through the wall and they hurt you because they have underlying issues. That's a real thing, right? There may be some underlying issues within the person, and they get past the wall, right? They give you them, they get you comfortable, and they hurt you because of their own issues that they have.
Right.
How do you deal with that? What do? Do you still walk away? Do you stay?
I think Rhonda was saying the girl with the bowling ball should have walked away.
But I mean, shit too. Do you?
But I'm just saying, I need to know what that ball did, man. before I take his side, I need to know what he did. And why was he that close to her? Like, if I'm whenever I'm in an argument with somebody, I don't care who it is. You cannot be in my space. Don't be in my space. If we're in an argument, do not be in my space. Stay over there. We can argue. You can sit over there. We can argue. Don't come in my square.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, most of the time when you're having discussions, you're in a very close vicinity within one another. Even if you are over there, you're still only a few ticks away. Like
Right.
I
But
can still
that
hum something at you. I can still
but
run up and do a quick stop.
I can see that. I can see that coming though. Ish is what I'm saying. I can see that
Right.
coming. You're never gonna be that close to me where I don't see it coming. Like I'm gonna see it coming.
So do you feel like there is ever a point in time where you two are like face to face and it's like,
I don't do that.
okay.
I don't engage in that. I don't engage in that face to face argument shit. Back the fuck up. Back the fuck
Hmm.
up. What you doing in my face? Why are you screaming in my face? Like,
Why, you got trust issues with them being that
no,
close?
I don't have trust. I have space issues. Back
But what
the
if she
fuck
not
up in
screaming?
my face.
Right, but
Yeah,
what if she
I
not
feel you
screaming?
on that.
Then how is it an
Yeah.
argument? If she's not screaming, it's not an argument. We're just talking.
Well, I mean, discussions, like
Then we just talk.
discussions, debates can be like,
Yeah, we can have a heated discussion or a talk. But if you're screaming in my face and I feel the physical, I'm not going to allow you to be in my square. Like back up.
Yeah.
right. I
And
hate
that's the best
arguments.
thing to do to avoid any
Hmm.
physical altercation. Because, I mean, being a female, myself, I can honestly say if a man get hit by a woman, she's asking for it. I mean, because his natural reflex is going to be to protect himself.
Right.
So if she
Hmm.
throw a lick, as they said when we were kids, you grown enough to throw a lick, you grown enough to take one.
Right.
Do y'all have any questions or any topics in the chat that y'all want us to address as we go through free form? What's going on over there? I still need to know what that bull did to her. And
What he did. I don't think it really outlined exactly what he did. I'm sure it'll develop a little bit because
So
everybody
what
talking
what
about
happened? Did
that shit
somebody
right
kill
now.
someone? Did
no,
what
she
No,
cracked him
she
in the head
just
with
bust
both.
him in the head with a bowling ball.
Oh, I saw that.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I need to know what he did.
Right.
Yep, she bust him in the head with a bowling ball. I
I
guess
mean,
she
I
said,
can't see
"Listen."
anything justifying that outside of
Hmm.
her trying to keep him from killing her. That was
Right.
to me that was much. That was a bit much.
Hmm.
What if he gave her something?
Yeah,
You
that's
can
true.
move. Get your ass out of the way.
That's true, yeah. But
That's
I mean,
true.
I feel like even then, like, is attempted murder or murder like the equivalent of
That's
how that should be
that's called
handled?
that's called heat of the moment.
Right. That would be considered a crime of passion in the
Right,
court. That would be the defense.
right,
Crime of passion.
right.
Like
Back up.
Mm.
literally.
That's why I said you got to know when to back the fuck up. Why is you that close to these motherfuckers? Man?
But I feel like too, like I honestly feel like this. Like I've been in relationships or situations and somebody could take me from 0 to 100. Like
Right.
literally. And I could just like activate that
But my question,
push it and
my,
then somebody else don't do that.
so my question is when they get you at to this point, Ish, are they still standing in reaching distance?
Yes.
Are they crazy?
No, she's the crazy one. You're not getting that.
No, she's not
She's the
crazy.
crazy
Obviously,
one.
No,
they ain't
she's not.
fucking
No, she's not crazy because people do get to their points where they explode and they're in an emotional rage. But when you're at that point, I'm not going to be standing in front of you. What the fuck are you doing? Where are you from? Because where I'm from, we don't do shit like that. Back up.
I mean,
right.
I know this girl, y'all, and she brag about doing this, that she has put frozen meat in a sock and commenced to beating her mate with
Beating
it.
him up.
I mean,
Well,
she's abusive like that, but guess what? They like that about her.
Right.
But
mhm.
for whatever
And,
reason, they like
She
that
probably got
about
the
her.
golden box, right? She got the
mhm.
golden.
Angelia says she was researching it, and Tia basically says that it was her date, not her boyfriend. So that clears
Wow.
that up. So the date, I would have to say, he must have said some real disrespectful, out of pocket shit in order for her to want to crack him upside his head. Because there's
Yeah.
nothing that's like really that triggering in a
I
date.
wouldn't think so anyway. I mean, but that depends on what type of person she is. I mean,
Right.
now, come on. If he went to the hood and got a sister girl, he had to expect to get his to get showed out on.
I don't know what
You
happened.
know who's loud and who's not. You know what I'm saying?
I can't speak on that situation because I don't got all the details. All I'm saying is I'm not surprised. No, what's the next question?
Now, what you doing? What you doing if somebody crack you upside your head now?
Oh
What you doing?
Lord.
Cause I mean, you're gonna be like conscious. Like
That,
you ain't gonna be
Eesh,
unconscious. What
Eesh,
you doing?
That's
Eesh,
Nell Gotti.
Eesh, I'm not even arguing with you in a bowling alley. The fuck?
But if your balls is big enough to, what you doing? What you doing? You get cracked.
I'm a,
You gonna
I'm a,
be there like, bitch, what you do?
I think there's no win in that.
Right.
There's no win. There's no win for me. There's no win for her. There's no win for no one. Right? What typically happens is this perpetuation of she hit me, I hit her, I go to jail, she's hurt. No one wins. No one wins. So in that moment, it is almost like you take your lumps and you just be like, all right, I just know I can't deal with them no more because whatever the case may be. You lose yourself to like when you retaliate. A wise man once told me, when you argue with fools, people from a distance can't tell who is who, right? So the moment I engage in that, or the moment I become the aggressor after being assaulted, and no one's seeing that, they remember is me at the end.
Right.
Oh, he hit her back, or he threw her down the bowling lanes. At the end of the day, um, it just doesn't. It's not worth it. It's almost just like, all right, it is what it is. Either you gonna get up and walk out, or you gonna call the cops. That's it. You know what I mean?
Did anybody? Did anybody hear she got arrested or not? Because I was just getting ready to say no. That's a good point that you made. But what would have happened if it was him doing that?
I
Like
mean,
if he did it to her?
it's always it's always going to it's always going to be um, exasperated if the man was to put his hands on her. Just think, a week before then, there was video of Tank Davis, who was a boxer, Javante Davis, gripping up his baby mom and usher her out of the basketball place or wherever she was at, or this concert or whatever. And right before his fight, he was called an abuser and everything like this. But that was an old video that people didn't understand, right? And a video came, a frantic 911 call came out that she made saying he assaulted her and the baby, blah blah blah. It come on out, she made the story up because she was upset, she was emotional. He asked her to leave. He didn't want to be with her anymore, and she made up this claim that he beat her up and his daughter. It just so happened that there was a white man at the home servicing him for some injuries that he had sustained while sparring and boxing. And the man said, none of that happened. I was standing right there in the kitchen. And it was an argument. He didn't touch her. She touched him, which made her retract her statement and actually say, hey, we're working towards this. We always see where the man will be punished for these things, and should be. Again, we're bigger and stronger than women for the most part. Our jobs are to protect and be a protective, loving entity as we're supposed to be. And it sounds good coming from my mouth, right? Again, as me being me having aggressive tendencies and things like that, I can't sit here and say that I haven't yelled before, or whatever the case may be. And those things are never acceptable. To make someone feel less than themselves, and or physically demeaning to someone is definitely not the case, and you shouldn't be doing it. It's not acceptable and under no circumstances, regardless if they put their hands on you or not. So that's why I say certain situations, it's just best to walk away and live to see another day. I get my ass up, my bloody ass up, and get the fuck up out of there.
I know of
No, what's the
of
next question?
this situation that just happened this week. And this is, I don't know the couple directly, but I do know their family member. They were on a cruise. The female jumped on her boyfriend on the boat, bruised him up, Well, she is sitting right now in jail, waiting 2 weeks because her family refused to get her out of jail. She's waiting 2 weeks in Florida, and her family live up north, and they refuse to get her out. They said that they're gonna let her sit there and go to trial because she is known to be abusive towards him all the time anyway. But they took the charges out on her, the people on the boat. So females, you will go to jail as well if you're abusive, depending on where you are, I guess.
Would you ever put your hands on a man?
Would I? Um,
See, she
now
told you to back up, man. That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't. I would have to be extremely upset, and I mean extremely upset to the point that I don't even realize I'm doing it, because I will walk away first.
Even in the extreme upsetness, if that's even a word, do you think is justifiable? And the reason why I ask is because you're a mother, you have a son, and if a young lady was to put their hands on your son, would you feel differently?
I mean, I've had that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I say, I personally would not put my hands on the man myself. But I have seen the case where when women put their hand on the men, I said that some women are asking for it because their natural reflex is to hit back. But there is hammer into them. You never put your hands on a female, regardless of what they do to you. I don't agree with it because if she's coming at you and with something that could kill you, you need to protect yourself. You need to. Now, I will say, if there's a way that you can push them off of you and walk away, by all means, do that. But if you must protect your life, protect your life.
All right.
I agree with Angelia though. Seriously, I do. I agree. I didn't care what was going to come on the other end of that. If I was
Mhm.
triggered, I instantly react. I instantly react. That is not the best way to be, and I am working on that. But an individual that takes the time to know and understand you are going to know your triggers. Back to you now. Like, it's important to know your person's triggers, and therefore it will never get to that point because he's going to know when to soften you up and when not to necessarily trigger you to the point that you're going to explode and not care how you react.
Mhm.
You know what I
We had
mean?
a
Because
big
that's a difficult.
we had a big question in the group this week. Something that actually got the people talking, right? So the prophet wasn't the prophet this week. He was a shit starter. He posted something that went a little like this. Ladies, 35 and up, why didn't you tell us that your sex drive only gets worse as you get older? How are y'all single heifers managing? Not my words, but the words of somebody who wants to know. Does your sex drive get worse as you get older, or did it increase and go wild?
Mm-hmm.
Let's let the 64-year-old woman
Ladies,
answer that, please.
why you gotta throw her age though? Like, why?
Oh, I'm
Not the
sorry.
64-year-old woman. Look
Damn.
at her face. She like, ain't nothing 64 years old about me
God
over
damn,
here.
that was
Nah.
dirty.
Katie, you want to lead us off with that, Katie?
No, I'm waiting for the 64-year-old to answer
Year old to
first.
pop on. Right, right.
Yeah,
Nah, we
I was
joking.
waiting for her to answer that first.
Nah, I'm joking with you. Just a little humor, little humor, little humor. But how do you feel about that? Being a resident old head on that.
I
Outsourcing.
can't speak for others, but my sex drive increased as I got older.
Cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's also to say, I do take hormone therapy. Now, if I didn't have the hormone therapy, I can't say that it would be like that. So, but
Mine's actually increased. I had a hysterectomy young, so I was forced into like, sort of like an older part of womanhood. And mine's significantly increased. Um and I am lucky that I don't have to be on, like any hormone therapy or anything. I just like a rabbit. I want to all the time. It's insane. And it's insane to put that sometime on your partner to have to, you know what I mean, keep up with, unless that's their energy. But I don't think it gets worse for some women.
Aisha over there trying to give somebody a heart attack.
Now I will say, ladies, T said this.
Exactly.
He said, because I told them that I'd be happy to be put up against any 30, 40-year-old. I can hold my own, even in the physical. Because T was saying, you know, you got the hip problem, you have the knee problem, whatever. That's why I work out.
Okay.
I can hang. Speaking
So
for me.
a little bit of scientific, a little bit of scientific and psychological factual information, as they say, men between the ages of 13 and 45, sex drive it's heightened,
Right.
and it starts to decline. Where a woman's sex drive from the ages of 40 and up starts to increase. So that's where you see this disparaging information, or the energies that you may not be seeing from your partner depending on their age group. If you've noticed, the young men are fruitile at a young age up into their 40s, and the slope starts to decline, where women start to pick up those pathogens, and starts to get real, in their sex drive roars out of control, being anything from hormonal imbalances and, you know, estrogen and things of that nature, where a male's testosterone starts to wane at the later years of his life, where a woman is starting to go through certain things. How y'all feel about science?
Can I speak, man?
Go ahead.
All
Go ahead. Hey.
right, man. There's a lot of determining factors in this. So I want to start where, is this a woman that was fucking a lot when she was young? Or is this a woman that wasn't doing any fucking and now she's just horny? She's just a horny old head. Is this women that are thinking about, you know, they have sexual urges, or are they actually fucking? These are my thoughts. Like, are you actually fucking, or do you just have sexual? Are you just horny? You have sexual urges. Are that an increase, or are you actually doing the physical? Are you actually doing all of this fucking? Is my question. And that's why
you have a capability.
That's where I call the cat, man.
Right. No, but here's
like
what I
this,
will
T,
say.
just because you're not doing it, you still have the capability.
KD.
Now, I'm not gonna go and jump on any damn random joke. No.
KD. Nobody's saying that you don't have the capabilities. What I'm saying is that if you had a younger dude, maybe 30 or 40, and he was fucking you 5 times a day, I'm telling you, you can't keep up. And
you
I
don't know that.
You don't know that. Shit. Says who? What? Nigga, and pull out like 4 or 5 more.
You don't know that.
And pull out like 4 or 5 more. And that's not for everybody. Yeah, everybody is not like that. But then you have some women whose sex drive is like extremely through the roof, almost nymphomaniac type. So there's not to say that there aren't women who can't fuck 10 times a day.
Is that the thought each or the actual physical?
No, that's the actual physical. That's the actual physical.
I need to see it. Can somebody
okay? I mean,
put a list together. Something like somebody put a list together. So
because here's the thing. I will say this, and I'm speaking from somebody who, you know, can definitely like chime in on this subject, right? I will say this. Your person has to do it for you in order for that to really take off and elevate that way. You see what I'm saying? If your person is not like tapping in, you can want to do it, but you're not really doing it. Why? Because that person has no, like, they're not really taking interest to the fact that you have a high sex drive. They're not taking interest in you.
Hold on, Ish, because I agree with all the shit that you said, but I just need to pose a question to the resident old girl getter. Mr. Gotti.
Well, I gotta be the old girl getter.
Mr. Gotti.
Yes.
Are these older women out sexing you?
I'm gonna keep it a buck. These women, these older women can definitely hang. They
That's not the
definitely
question.
want it.
The question is, are they out sexing you?
Let's put it in layman's terms. Sexing meaning what?
Are they more horny, want to fuck more than you?
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Yes.
Now, is that a part of your MS or is that just in general?
Nah, nigga, they want it. They be high. They sex drives is very high. I don't know if it's the menopause or the change in the change in life. Again, who knows? Who knows? A lot of that has to do with a lot of different things.
That's what I said.
Right.
What are the factors? I said, is these girls?
I read up. So when we had this discussion about everything that we were going to talk about, when you put this up, I checked into it. So they said women typically from the time that they're giving birth, right, childbirth ages of anywhere from 20 on up to like 40 something. They're saying they're tending to the kids, they're tending to the homes. They don't have the time, or they're tired, so they don't have the time that they want to spend with them.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's because they wasn't fucking a lot.
They wasn't.
I'm talking about the girls that was fucking a lot. I need to hear from the girls that were fucking a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. Okay.
So you want to know the girls that was doing it from 20 all the way up to 60?
No, I need to hear from the girls that was fucking since 13 and 14. I need to hear when they are 50 and 60, are they still fucking a lot like they were when they were 14 and 15? That's the people I need to hear from.
Yes. Yes, I can say yes.
I can't answer.
I can say yes.
You ain't that old, Ish.
But I'm 44.
No, Ish.
And my body, but my body is like in menopause. So therefore, I can speak on that.
You ain't that old, Ish.
Okay, I'll
But
wait.
it doesn't
I'll
go
wait.
by the
15
age.
years.
Go by the
15 years from now, we're gonna have this conversation.
Right.
But
when you 60,
when
you 60, I want to see you. I want to hear you talk the same talk when you're 60.
Okay, so Lynette Hardy says, when I mentioned my high sex drive, I was told I don't want you for just sex. There's so much more to us.
How old is she? How old are you, Lynette?
Well, she says 9 years older, but
no, I need to know how old she is, and
Lynette, how old are you?
I need to know what she fucking.
It does not matter as long as they
does, Katie. That's just like a girl who was a virgin until she was like 21, and then she started fucking all crazy. Of course, yeah, because she was never fucking. That's why.
So see, Lynette is 50. Right? Yeah, Lynette is 50.
Was she fucking?
Lynette, were you sexually active very young?
Y'all crazy with these questions. Y'all asking.
I don't care. I need to know the factors, man.
So, ladies, those of you who were sexually active in your teens.
What I'm saying is, Ish, that shit don't count if you only fuck 2 niggas your whole life, and now you 50 and you high sex drive. Of course, you wasn't never fucking nobody.
Okay, can I speak at 44 though? I didn't have a lot of partners, but I did a lot of fucking. That doesn't mean anything.
Right?
Like I had very few partners, but I did a whole lot of fucking. So the drive is still there. Just the amount of people that you fuck don't matter of the sex drive, does it?
Exactly.
Yes, it does, because your curiosity and your experience plays a part.
No. It's like each say, once they bring it out of you, because I mean, you can be with the love of your life. If they don't open that flower up, then you're not going to let the full sex kitten out anyway. But you get that right person to open that flower.
I'm saying, Katie, that's what I'm saying. Of course, if you have.
So you're saying when they were younger, they didn't have anybody to open up.
Right.
Well, see, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I guess me being in just those few relationships, I was always wanting to open up.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just different. But lack of partners means lack of experience, I guess, too. So that's what you're saying, sis.
Well, if lack of partners mean lack of experience, then hell, I'm out. But that part that I did experience.
All that shit plays a role. And also, a lot of you ladies do be camping with the physical shit. Y'all know y'all cannot bounce it and drop it low like y'all did when y'all was in y'all 20s. So stop the fucking cat. I'm not
Right.
having it. I'm not having it.
Sleep
Stop the fucking cat, man.
on
Stop the
some of them old with you, so you better set that alarm clock and ring the
stop the
bell.
fucking cat, man.
Listen, let them live.
Better.
Let them live.
What's up now?
Let them live.
So that was a good one. That definitely was a good one.
Fucking
So
wish I would let one of these
we have
old.
every
Hold on now. I wish I fucking would let one of you old ass ladies put me down.
dang. What we say about that?
You don't
Stop
mess with older
disrespecting
women, see, so
stop
you'll never know.
disrespecting the clientele. He doesn't mean that, ladies. He
I
doesn't
said
think y'all
something
ladies are
about
old ass
dropping the low
women.
end.
Y'all
That's the
beautiful.
part of it. That's the part of it. If you just laying there getting fucked, that don't count. You gotta be participating. You gotta be bouncing and moving too. You just laying there getting fucked. Talk about my sex drive is high. No, you laying there. You ain't
You
doing
don't know
nothing.
what these old women are doing. Man,
Fuck
they
out of
probably
here.
tying
Yeah.
these men hands to the bed and
Fuck out of here.
riding them cowgirls. You don't know what they're doing behind those closed
Oh,
doors.
that's
Because a
bullshit.
high sex drive, once you're pushed there and you let that drive out, baby, you gonna drive like
First
you
of
on the
all,
freeway.
hold on. First, Katie, you say no to everything. So let's just start right there. Stop it. Stop it. What are we doing?
Stop.
Stop it.
Well, I'm the
That's not
spokesperson
nice.
tonight for them. I'm the spokesperson.
Stop it.
All right. So this last question, this question right here probably is going to take us into our final and last segment of the night. And this question right here is: as parents, are we casting our dreams and beliefs on our children instead of them letting them live their true lives? How do y'all feel about that? Again, as parents, are we casting our dreams and our beliefs on our children instead of letting them live their true life?
I never did that. Like, I feel like it is done an awful lot. And I feel like that's where there's a loss of trust and a breakdown of communication. Um, but I feel like, it's easy to want to cast upon your children your dreams and like what you would want to see them do, or maybe even something that you might have wanted to do, you know what I mean, in your younger years, and kind of want to steer um their life. But I feel like it becomes a very slippery slope when that happens, because your child is not able to express themselves what it is they want to do because you're so busy harnessing your dreams and, you know what I mean, and the things that you want them to be doing. And I think that's difficult.
I,
Well, I can honestly say I did. I see the error of my ways, but and I didn't even realize that's what I was doing until I did it. But when Alice was younger, I even took him to try to be in commercial. I tried to push him to be on TV. Had no idea that I even had an interest in that at the time. But I tried to push him in that area. Then I tried to push him into the medical area. And so I can say I have been guilty of that. I really have. And it's not a good idea to do.
absolutely. I know y'all know I have no true biological children, but my brother, who you all know affectionately know as a lot of people, when they see him, think he's my son, and my dad actually calls him my son. I had him ever since I was one. He just actually hid from the fact of me telling me that he has a baby on the way, and you know when he was growing up, coming out of school, hey, go to college, get an education, make something of yourself, take the path that's supposed to be the righteous path. And not that he rebelled from that. He did that just because he thought that was going to make us happy, and wound up that was not his thing. He now works with me. We now work at the same job, and I get an opportunity to see him every day. Um, but now that he's 22, with a baby on the way, I have to look at him as a man and not as just a boy, and allow him to make the same mistakes that I made, and helping me to get to 42 years old, and helping me to be the person that I am. and not pushing my agenda on him or my dreams or aspirations of where I think he should be or where he should have went, and allowing him to experience that for himself. So he'll be able to make those sound decisions for himself and also now for his own child when it comes. So, just understanding that, and being a child once ourselves, and knowing how our parents may have wanted us to do certain things that might have not have been in our character, or might have not just been something that we totally took charge of, and allowing them to live in them. But the world is so crazy that all we want to do is safeguard them and coddle them, but still understanding that they have to go out there and be their own individual. Is something that you have to allow them to do, because if you've raised them right, if you've given them the right parameters, the right structures, the right role models, the right environments, typically they will make the most out of it, or somewhat at some point in their life deviate back to that. They may take missteps and may get off the beaten path a little bit, but hopefully the values that you instilled in them helps them to bring them back to a place of responsibility.
And it does, they never forget what you try to teach them, regardless of if they liked it or not. My son have came back to me and repeated things that I said to him that did have an impact. Mm-hmm. However, like I said, some of the things that I tried to push on him, he wasn't for it. And I realized, is how wrong I was to try to live my dreams through him. And I had to realize that's what I was doing. It's like, I'm like, he'll be good at this, he'll be good at that. Then I had to stop and be honest with myself. He have no interest in that. It's not his interest. It's my interest. Mm-hmm. So had to step back and let him do him. And he's doing great so far.
Mm-hmm. They'll do it. They'll get it.
Mm-hmm. They will.
They'll make their way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like they say, they have to make their own mistakes, because that's how we became who we are, is by making our mistakes and growing through our mistakes. Mm-hmm. So we have to allow them to make those mistakes, and it's one of those things when we see them going to a Mack truck, we just have to let them go through that Mack truck and banish them up.
God damn.
Well, they could be also considered learning lessons. You know what I mean? Not necessarily mistakes all the time, but just like lessons.
And I say a Mack
that
truck
they are going to carry with them.
In life, it's going to hit them just like a Mack truck, and we know how it's going to hit them because we've been there, but we can't stop it.
Right.
I'm just going to say that when my son was little, I did, try to push him into playing ball. But once I seen he wasn't as passionate about it, like he didn't really love it, then I just let him do his own thing.
Right. Right.
Now, I have a question.
It's okay then.
As we're waiting, I have a question. When you love, do you not love? Okay. What is your preferred method of intimacy? With passion or just going into it? What is your preferred method?
Who's
passion
that?
For me?
Is that to everybody, or is that somebody specifically you aiming at? To?
No, I'm asking everybody. I'm asking everybody because everybody have, some people just like to go in there like, get it over with. Some people like passion. Now, I really feel like women prefer passion over men. I mean, men, is that true?
I know some girls that just like straight up fucking. Right. They don't care about none of that passion shit.
Right.
Now, are women only passionate about passion to get them to a point, right. And then once you in it, they holding your butt down and holding you down so you can get deeper in it? Like,
oh well, of course that's gonna come, but they start out with the passion, but the passion is gonna lead to the wildness.
So I think so. Again, that's where we said before. Make sure you choose your words properly or carefully, because when you say, "I just want passion," and the person is just given that, and you might want more. And say lead with passion, and it opens the door to Pandora's box. It opens that rose up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because a person, we hear what we hear, and we think that's just it, and we think, oh, if I just do this, she's going to be satisfied, or he's going to be satisfied, not knowing that's a lead into, okay, this passion is going to get me the.
But I guess you learn your partner as you go with that part. I guess you learn your partner.
But you learn your partner, but is your partner settling because they think that's all you can offer, or are they tired of saying, or are they voicing, I want you to do this because it's going to lead to this.
Hold on now. KD, what was the exact question? Are you passionate, or is it just like, what's the exact question?
So what now?
What is the exact question? And how you showing your passion? That's the question.
Yeah. Do you when you are getting down into your business?
Right.
Do you prefer to just go in with lead with wild sense, or do you lead with passion? Which do you prefer?
I prefer everything, KD. I'm a man of great time. What are you talking about?
But that's what I was getting ready to say. Is it just limited to that? Because I feel like sometimes even if you go right in and you want to start with passion, there's a gear that shifts somewhere in there that is going to go into, something different. So, you can say, hey, I like to go in the door and I like it to be all hot and passionate. But then at some point, my gears is going to shift and I'm going to grab your ass and shove the dick in more right now. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
But you can do all of that while still being passionate.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because you're doing it with crazy passion by then.
Mm-hmm.
It builds to that.
Yeah, I told y'all what my passion looked like. Pillowcase.
Well,
No,
to
not
answer
the pillow.
the question,
Not the pillow, no.
mine is going to start with intimacy, and it's going to be filled with passion, and it's going to end with intimacy as well.
Nell, you in that fucking pillow.
I know. Oh my God.
You in that
He is
goddamn
actually showing the
pillow.
pillow.
Listen, remember, I have
lady.
nothing to say without my attorney. Okay? I have nothing to say without my attorney. That's the drill. I'm gonna make sure that I drill that into your head, because you and them damn pillows is gonna get you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Going to get you in trouble.
Part of the
They'll say,
bed.
here's your intimacy, all right.
This
Don't
part
Right,
of
knock
the
your
right.
bed.
ass to
Now
sleep with
going
this.
straight to the 160th degree with the pillow. Ain't no passion, intimacy. You can't fucking breathe with Nell. Okay?
So we know his answer on that.
We know his answer clearly. Clearly. What's up, good people?
So I know we talked about this last week, the three of us. We didn't talk about this, the four of us. What are we looking forward to? Not just 2023. What are we looking forward to? One, individually, as a collective,
Right.
as a family. What are things that you need, you want to see, you want to accomplish?
No, as we're thinking about this answer, can we bring our special guest in? Yeah.
Hell yeah! So while y'all think about that, we have a special guest.
What's happening? KD, who's our special guest?
Yeah, well, this is Karen's Corner, y'all. We are shooting the shit, but we are doing Karen's Corner.
Hold on, KD. We're going to answer the question first, and I want the guest to answer this question as well. But just introduce her before we get into Karen's Corner.
Okay, well, my introduction to y'all, this young lady right here. This young lady, I came to know her years ago in the lit world as an author. She's an author. She published her first book in 2012. Since then, she has also been a publisher and been responsible for allowing other authors to enter their work into the world. Not only that, but she has also became a screenwriter. She is a movie producer. She is an actress. She is all of the above. She is one phenomenal woman. Chrisetta Tyler, aka Arthur Untamed. You can follow her on all of her platforms under Arthur Untamed. Right now, she is currently in a competition, and I hope it's not too late. She's running for Author of the Year for the Small Business of the CSRA, but she have several books. She have a film that is released as we speak. But I'm gonna bring Miss Author Untamed, Chrisetta Tyler. I'm gonna bring her on here herself so that she can tell you all about what she do. Now, before she come, I do want to let you know she co-wrote. Um, she co-wrote a book with JC, with Arthur JC. So when he was on the other week, she wasn't able to be on because it was Christmas time. But she is here now, and we have Arthur Untamed. Hello, Arthur Untamed. How are you?
How you
Hey.
KD, Nell did pose a question, but I mean, what's happening? Nell
Oh,
did.
what was the question? I'm sorry. I got carried away.
All right,
I'm,
so now
y'all
that
threw me off
now
track.
that our fearsome foursome has turned into the awesome five, this question is for all of us and anybody out there in comment land. Is now that we're embarking on this new year, what are some things that you want to see, accomplish, and also do? What you working on? What we working on, people?
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go.
So are we
Well,
gonna let
let's
our
start,
guests
I
answer
guess.
that first?
Yes.
Of
Yep.
course.
Okay. Well, hello, y'all. How y'all doing?
Hey,
Hello.
girl.
Hey,
Hey,
now.
hey, 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 hey. It's I thank you so much for that introduction, Katie. I appreciate it. If you said I was an actress, go ahead and speak some life into that, honey. Because I listen, I have not. Maybe my husband might say I'm an actress sometimes, but I haven't done that yet.
See, I thought you were acting in the movies that you're
No,
producing.
listen, no, my son has. He's been in a few, but not me, not yet. I'm
Okay,
gonna say it like
not
that.
yet.
Not yet, not yet. I haven't been. I'm more look. I try to stay behind the scenes, behind the camera, and make sure everybody else is doing what they need to do and get the project together. But not, I'll say not yet. So maybe that's gonna be a goal for me in 2023 is to get in front of the camera.
Okay, okay.
So that'll be a goal. But for me, it's just to. I've been truly blessed. I will say that. So to me, blessings have been coming in since 2012, but definitely since 2020 when the pandemic hit. I can honestly say it was a good shakeup. So I just want to keep the train moving, keep it going,
Mm-hmm.
continue to ride the wave that I'm riding in this film industry and this literary industry and do more, be there, create more opportunities for others around me, continue to help elevate others around me. That's my goal for 2023. So
Okay.
that's what I can say.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. That's cool. Go to Katie. You want to go next? No. Anybody want to go next? You want me to go? What's up?
Nell.
Yeah, my 2023 is already in full swing. Working on a number of different projects this year. Expanding the focus. As y'all know, Wednesdays I do along with my dog. We do telemade kicks, which that's about to go out of here. Working on some exclusive content with that. So that's some things that we're working on. Uncensored Minds again on Sunday. Being a part of just the whole telemade kicks network, and making sure that gets to where we want it to be. He wants it to be. We all want it to be. Also, my individual projects, my Friday Night Lights. Um, we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary over there at Friday Night Lights this past Friday. Congratulations to everybody over there at Friday Night Lights for keeping the lights on, as I say, and just making sure that that continues to grow, get stronger, be even more of a community wide organization that gives back to different organizations as we've done, in the past and also present, and then also in the future. Individual goals, real estate, getting into that, owning more properties. I'm actually in the process of not finalizing, but getting close to that finalizing process of, getting more properties under my belt, and just working on me. As y'all know, I started towards the end of last year of getting in front of my mental health, which is something that is like a must do, not just for myself but for everybody. Making sure my mental health is in a great space, more times than none. Also, sitting down and speaking to someone, just unleashing my emotions, talking it out, and more or less just being the best that I can be. Because as we know, this world is crazy, and we just got to be able to have outlets that allows us to, outlet, and more or less just as we always talk about, just being more productive. My time is, I don't know if people know, but I have no time to do nothing but trying to find even a little bit more time to work on different goals and aspirations that I'm looking to achieve this year, next year, and the following year, with that. Um, so yeah, I'm working hard. I'm working. I always don't speak it just because I like to do it before I start to speak it, or I like to be about it before I just put ideas out there. So, now that these ideas are now becoming realities, I can kind of start to speak it, and not just manifest it, but make sure that it's, thriving as well. So that's what I'm working on.
Okay, well, I can say, and this is going to shock everybody. First of all, I'm going to open myself up to
Uh-oh.
more love. I am. Okay, T. No, no, you didn't do that. No, you
Uh-oh.
didn't.
Uh-oh.
But I am going to open myself up to more love as a whole, like from people, because I am not very accepted, accepting of anybody coming into my space. Now I'm still gonna be cautious. I still am gonna be cautious, but I am going to open myself up to love. I have been closed off to love for a very long time. So I'm going to open myself up to love in 2023 and going to see where it takes me. And of course, I'm going to broaden my horizon as far as being a stronger actress because I'm going even harder in that this year. I had to take a break last year, but I'm moving forward with that as well as getting back into my writing. So we're going to see what 2023 brings.
Um, Working with the Tailor Made Network. So as you know, Tailor Made Kicks is on Wednesday. Game 7 is on Thursday. Uncensored Mind is on Sunday. I will be adding 2 more shows that'll be on Mondays and Tuesdays that I won't be on, but I'll be producing. So that'll be coming in a couple of months. As far as the second book, y'all still have some shit to learn from the first book, so y'all can't get it yet. But it's coming. But it's coming. It'll be here soon. So the second book will be dropping soon, and just helping people to learn more and teaching more and teasing less. Teaching more and teasing less is the plan for 2023.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
I did say last week, I think I said, I just want to be an all around better person, period. Like 2022, like hit me with a lot of major um, conflicts that I needed to, deal with or resolve. So, I'm just looking for a better, more healthier year for my family and for my friends. I'm looking to be, just an all around better individual. I'm looking to, build my business. I'm looking to continue to grow with the Uncensored Minds family. Um, I'm dibbling and dabbling in music and artistry and management a little bit. And, it's some other things that I want to get off the ground. It's just hard to sometimes focus when life throws you boulders your way. You know what I mean? So you just got to continue to dodge and move and get in where you fit in. So I'm hoping that 2023 will be great to everyone and that everyone will be able to, tackle all of their goals and all of their endeavors and just shine bright.
Right. I'm getting
Great.
a marijuana business, and I'm gonna start on fentanyl. I'm working on that too.
And I also forgot to say that
I cannot.
my main goal for 2023 is to get KD outside. As soon as I get KD outside, y'all, it's on. It's
I'm
on.
outside.
It's on and popping, KD.
Tried to get
KD, let them
outside
know
last
you
year.
outside a little bit. Let them know, KD, you
But
outside a little bit.
okay, with Cressida here, y'all, the one thing that I found out upon speaking with her last night, and I was so shocked, we're in the
Yes.
same city. All of
Yes.
these years, we have followed each other on Facebook because we're both authors, and we are right there in the same city, right here in the same city. Now she can tell you we don't have too much to get out at in this city, do we?
Right, absolutely. No, no.
I mean, it's
I
very
told
limited.
you the joke last night. Like most of the authors that's here in the city, we met each other online before we met each other in the city.
Right.
Hey, Katie, when I say outside, I mean outside. I don't mean just walking outside your front door.
But I
I
have
mean
to, but
outside.
in order to get outside, I have to get outside.
So,
What's
All
I
right,
got like
Katie, it's
Walmart
on
in
you,
town
Katie.
or
What's
something?
up?
Okay, so we're gonna finish this with Arthur Untamed. Girl, I am so proud of you. Like I said,
thank
we
you,
started
darling.
trailing each other quite a few years ago. Um, you and I both we know JC.
Yeah,
He has been in the game forever and a day. You
yes,
two knew that y'all were in the same city. I knew that
yes,
me and JC lived in the same city, but
yes.
I was totally thrown when
Okay.
you told me last night that you're right here in this city. And
Yes.
then when I went on to research about what are you doing and all of that, girl, producer, writer, and producer of screenplay. I mean, I am just so proud of you, not only
Thank
as a
you.
woman, but as someone who is right here in my area. And not only that, guys, she even has her work at Barnes and Noble right
Yes.
here in our city. Girl, let
Yes.
me tell you, I am so
Listen.
very proud of you. And like I said, I
Oh
wasn't
boy.
lying about last night when I said, okay, I need a part in that next upcoming movie.
I told you, listen, as soon as we do it, I promise you, like I told you, it's gonna be from Atlanta. So as soon as we open up casting, I 100% I'm gonna tag you in it now.
All
I'm gonna
right.
tag you in it.
All right.
Yes,
Now
so
we had JC on here a couple of weeks ago. You and
okay.
he wrote the contract, which is an awesome, awesome read, by the way.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So tell us the experience. How did you and he come to write together? How did you come up with your character? And y'all just so able to bump the characters together so well. So how did
So
that come about?
So with JC, he approached me. He said, I want to write with you, and I said, okay. So we just kind of had like a little session where he's like, okay, what do you want to write, and what do you want to write about? And so we came up with this idea together. Came up with the whole, the premise and the plot and everything together. And we knew automatically, okay, it's gonna have to be a male, it's gonna have to be a female. And so I decided, hey, I'll take the female role, you take the male, and that's how we set it up. So when you read it, you see there's Hosea and then there's also Camilla. So you have these different chapters, but they merge together. And basically what we did, it was more of a swap off. Like I would write, he would write, we would send each other, and we would just kind of build on it from there. And it was, if you know JC, if you know anything about him, he makes everything fun and
I know.
comical at a competition. So man, it was so doggone
Very
funny. Every
competitive.
very competitive.
Very
So when
competitive.
we would send each other, like different chapters and stuff, he would amp me up. He would send me like me face emojis. We would be clapping back at each other. So the fact that it's an amazing read, I can tell it because it was an amazing time to actually flesh it out and write it with him. And that's one thing I tell anybody. It can be difficult to co-write with people
Hmm.
a lot of times. So that relationship, it has to be, solid. It has to be there.
Yes.
And that's a big part of it. Like you really gotta, you can flesh your ideas together, mesh it together, but you really have to mesh with the person that you're writing with. You have to really get along, and you guys really have to feed off of each other. So that was the biggest thing for me. It's like I feed off of people's energy, and his energy is
Hmm.
always amazing. That's my brother for real.
I know that's right, girl. I know that's right. And he is so wise as far as like, being able to teach you the ropes as far as like when he started, because it was a different ball game when he
Hmm.
started. He started before we did. But
Hmm.
I do want to ask now, I have co-written, so I know how it is to co-write. Um, did
Yes.
you find yourself getting through with the project quicker when you co-write versus if you're writing single? Or did you find that it took longer?
Actually, now with me and JC, because I've co-written with somebody else too. So with me and JC, it actually went quicker because when you write with somebody, you have an accountability partner. So
Hmm.
you kind of like, all right, I gotta make sure I be on my A game. I gotta make sure I have this back in the promised time. So, but again, I'm really big about that. So it's like I'll say, okay, and he is too. So you hold yourself, you hold your own foot to the fire. Like, okay, this person got this back to me. I need to go
Hmm.
ahead and jump on and do my part. Everybody's not like that. You can you can sometimes even when you write with other people, it's like they'll be accountable, but it's still like, all right. So you kind of gotta put a little pressure on them, like, hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna get this done. We're gonna get this done. So but again, it just depends on your commitment and then your willingness to like, hold your own foot to the fire and be there for and with that person to complete the project.
Right. And
Thank y'all so much for
I
these
am with
hearts
you
too.
on
I
that.
love y'all.
Uh, uh,
I was saying
uh,
thank you so much for
and
the hearts.
you are right. When you're co-writing, that kind of put the pressure on you to like
Yes.
go on and write because when I co-wrote, it was a lot quicker. But
Mm-hmm.
also, LJ and she and I, we push the other. And as JC
Mm-hmm.
said, it becomes a competitive situation.
Right,
You
right.
know, those characters be coming for you. They're gonna make
Yes.
you be like, oh, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna
And
get them.
and it was so it's so look, and for him it's so easy to like push his button with the characters. So I love doing it. So I love pushing
Exactly.
his buttons with those characters. So it really became like a high octane type of all right. Also, you gonna do this? Watch what my character do.
Exactly. Exactly. He is like the I would say the Huck of the lit world when it comes to that because his
Yes,
characters are always gentle giants, which is like,
yes.
we both know he's like a gentle giant,
He's a gentle
but
giant.
his
Yes.
characters are always menacing and
Mm-hmm.
they could rip apart the world, but behind all of that, he have a gentleness for the female in his life,
Yes.
so
Yes.
he's pretty much like that anyway.
In real life. Yeah.
Uh-huh, in real life. Now, I do want to advance from that. You got your books, and y'all, she is on Amazon. She has several books. Boss Queens, The Stiletto Mafioso, King Sweet, The Contract 1 and 2, The View 1 and 2, Never Again No More 1 through 6,
Yes.
and One Wish, A Christmas Short. This woman has been busy.
Yes,
This
yes.
lady has been busy. Now, let me ask you, the movie that is the film that has been released, No Better
Mhm.
Love, is that from one of your books, one of your titles?
That is not actually, that is written by author Eric S. Gray. So that is from his body of work. I was just a producer on that one for that project, but
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love bringing his book to film. All of the actual movies that we've done thus far are book to film movies. And so they are book to film movies for other authors. And that's the part that I truly love is being able to work with these authors and get their vision and turn their books into this film reality, put it on screen. So I that's the part that really is just so special to me because it meshes both of my worlds together. I have
Right.
this,
Right.
I started in the lit industry, and so that's always going to be my heart. But then the film industry is something that I'm truly passionate about. So being able to mesh both together and to bring these books onto film in the screen, man, it's so awesome. And I just love, and it's been everybody's first project as far as having their book turned to film. So
Mm-hmm.
that in of itself, just watching them go through the process with them, taking them through the process, and
Mm-hmm.
just watching the joy and just the elation that they have about seeing their words come to life. Man, I promise you, there is no better feeling. I love that so much. I really do.
Now, how did you get into producing?
So I started with Boston Magnet Media, which company I'm still with to this day. Boston Magnet Media, I started off as a PA and then worked up to associate producing and then co-producer, now producer. So it is a process. You really
Yeah.
have to get on set, get behind the scenes, learn the industry, learn the steps. So I was a big part of the post-production process at first, and then the pre-production process, of course, moving into producing with associate producing, and then of course the actual production part of it. So
Mm-hmm.
that was just the entire thing is amazing. But you started, boots to the ground and as a PA, and that was awesome.
Wow, that is awesome. And like you say, when you're an author, the transition,
Hmm.
can be pretty simple. Now, mine is different. I transitioned from being creative in the pages, and I always say to being creative on the stages.
Right.
Big I just take it from the pages to the stages because I really love the acting part of it. I mean,
Right.
it's like you say, once you get into it, you get to collide both of your passions together.
Yes. Yes.
So I
And
mean,
it's addictive. It's so
it,
addictive.
it is. Now I see that you have another production that is coming up, Beneath My Skin. Now, is that someone else's work,
That
someone else's book?
that is the only one that's a documentary. That is a documentary. Beneath My Skin is basically talking about mental health awareness with African Americans, and so that is in the editing processes and post production. So hopefully that will be dropping very soon. But that is one where, definitely we went into the minds of, we wrapped it up. It started before the pandemic, but
Mm-hmm.
then when the pandemic hit, we had to revisit it because that was another level of just mental anxiety, mental stress for
Right.
a lot of people. And I tell everybody, I say this was the funniest thing for me. I was actually opposite from a lot of people. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm, at home. I do author work full time, publishing, all of this stuff. This is my realm. This is what I do full time. But my kids are going off to college. My other son, he's in middle school. My husband's working, So when that transition happened for me, especially with my oldest two going off to college, it was like, oh my gosh, I was starting to feel that empty nest type of syndrome.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got used to it because, oh my gosh, now it doesn't take long, especially when you're doing what you love to do. And so I got used to kind of being at home by myself, having my schedule to myself, for the
Right.
majority of the day. Then the pandemic hit and everybody came home. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like my what I was doing wasn't changing, but everybody was home. And so they were like, it was became, the honeydew list, the mommy do list and everything
Ah,
else. And I was like, I'm stressed now. Everybody was stressed at first because, oh my goodness, they're like, all right, I'm home. And, that part of just kind of being cooped up, with everybody. And I
right.
was just like, well, but they liked the fact that they were home. That
Uh-huh.
it was different. It's like they didn't may not like being home, but they kind of like being home with their family. They got to see each
Yeah.
other a little bit more. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta get used to y'all being
And I know it's hard to work with a house full, but you have done
Yes,
great. I see that you have a podcast. It's called Get Caught Up Podcast. Where can
yes.
they find that?
Get Caught Up podcast can be found on Anchor FM. It's also on iTunes, Google, Audible, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify as well.
Okay.
So yes, check it out. It's the Get Caught Up. It's the author podcast. I say author podcast, but I kicked off the author because I wanted to not just limit it, to
Right.
authors. It is a platform that started off just, highlighting authors because especially for us, we don't have a space a lot of
That's
times
right.
where we can highlight our work.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to create that space. I wanted them to have a space where, no, you don't have to pay. I just want you to come on here and build your resume, get your name out here in these streets. And so they're like, okay, cool. So then as that moved along from season to season and it grew, I was just like, well, you know what? I want to kick off the author part, not because I don't want to service the authors, but because we're so much more. So I started
Yeah.
inviting like narrators on and editors and social media managers and
Right.
all the different facets that you need while you're in this industry. Because I just did not want to limit it to just the authors because they also need to know about the resources that's available to them. So,
Mm-hmm.
like graphic designers and have all of these different people who contribute to our growth and our development as
Right.
authors on the show. So now it's just to get caught up podcast, and so it's still open to everybody in the lit industry. So
Well, we thank you so much for having that podcast. And now you can even extend it into the acting industry since you're now a
yes,
part of that. Well, I'm going to
yes.
open up the floor for any questions that anyone may have for you. And I thank you so much, Rosetta, for taking time out your busy schedule to
Oh,
join
you
us
are
tonight.
welcome.
And
You're
I hope
welcome.
you join us every Sunday night. But I'm going to open
Listen,
it up.
I was tuned into these conversations. I didn't want to hop in because look, I know me. I started getting on the soapbox, so like, I was like, "Oh, this is good." I said, "Let me wait till I can just chill in the audience and just talk, 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 talk." Man, awesome show. I was enjoying myself.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And audience members, I hope the other co-hosts that come back on and see if they have any questions for you
Okay.
while we're waiting for them to come back. I do want to back up and ask you, with the producing of the film, from start
Yes,
to finish,
yes.
what was the time limit on that? Because I know how lengthy that can be.
Let me tell you. We are in such a great position right now where when I tell you, and this is why I say a lot of times when I'm actually in the process of this, my time is like really condensed because we actually have a formula where for the movies that we've been making that we are filming these movies like in 10 days, like it's a 10-day tight schedule. And
Wow.
we are moving from pre production to production and post production to release date. That has all literally been within 6 months. Everything has been within six
Whoa.
months. So, yes. It is so, and you know how extensive, how tight, and how
Yeah.
how much stuff has to be done,
Oh my
from
gosh.
just from treatment to, from script to treatment to the actual pre-production process to actually filming and then post-production. And as a producer, I'm involved in every step of that, So it's
Wow.
like it is. Yes, we have been doing it. We have been successful at it, and it has been, like what I say, it is a tight ride, but it is something that I have enjoyed. So, literally in 2022, we were in pre-production, filmed, and released 2 movies. So,
Wow, that's awesome. Well,
yes.
these are my guests. The co-host, you have Nell, the
Hi,
lovely
Nell.
Ish,
Hi,
and the
Ish.
prophet will be back on T. I'll suppose he will be back on soon. So
Okay.
we are Uncensored Minds.
All
I'm
right.
known as KD in this world of Untamed. I'm not Karen
Okay.
D in this.
All
I'm
right.
known as KD in this world,
All right. All
but
right.
I'm still
Got you.
Karen D.
I got you. I got you.
So I'm gonna turn it over to you guys. Nell, you have any questions?
Yeah, how can I get down with the on camera role? Like I'm ready to act. What's up?
You ready to act? Okay. Listen, I promise you, whenever we have our cast of calls, I will post it. I will tag you guys. You give me your information. I will definitely let you know when we actually post that so that you can come on. Like I told KD, hey, let me know. Just let me know, and I will definitely tag you in and submit your resume, submit your reels. We got you.
All right. Well, we would like to all of us here at Uncensored Minds, the four of us would like to definitely show you our appreciation, give you your flowers while you're here, and say thank you one for contributing to our society. It's always great and dope to see a black innovator stepping up
Thank
to the
you.
forefront and showing off their talents. And so, is your shirt so eloquently says, black writer, producer, director, producer, showrunner, distributor, designer, stylist, and what's the last part?
Let's see. Stylists, actors, everybody black.
You represent that. You represent that so well, and we definitely wanted to extend that to you. So, if everybody in the comment can throw up the Uncensored Minds hearts to these two beautiful ladies, and also we would be remiss if we didn't say this name as well to the big dog JC for also being a part of that book that you two collaborated on. His presence was definitely felt when he was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and now we got the second part to that. So we thank you for coming on our platform, sharing all of your platforms with us.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. I really do.
And we
And
always
we have to
support it.
thank JC for bringing the two of us together.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
how
we
we
do.
came to know each other.
Yes,
Was
we
through him.
do.
So
JC
thank
is
you, JC, for
awesome.
always
He the
pulling
plug.
the authors
That
together.
that's right. Thank you, homie. That's what I call that's my big homie.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So thank you, ladies, for your contributions to everything that you do for all of us here, and and the material that comes from you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, not our show. We still got one little part. My
One
part.
little part.
A little part. It's a big part. So open the
Christina, thank
show.
you for being on. I didn't get a chance to thank you. Thank you for coming on. I thought Ish was gonna ask some questions. But thank you
No,
for
I'm not
coming
quite
on,
sure. She got
lady.
disconnected. Yes, thank you.
So as we open the show today, we definitely dedicated this show to um Damar Hamlin, who was the young man who was injured last Monday night on the field in Cincinnati from a simple football play, which resulting in him having a cardiac arrest, which is a heart attack. Fortunately, we can report good news. Far too often have we been reporting tragic news, but here we can report great news that this young man is still with us and is functioning well. So again to the Hamlin family as you continue on your road and journey of getting well. You have all of our support and love here, and also our prayers and well wishes as well. So this was the last regular season week in the NFL, was week 18, and it went off without some controversy and fireworks. There were a number of teams still fighting for playoff positioning. And one of those teams where the green team, as T calls them, and some of y'all call them your team, the Philadelphia Eagles, they were able to wrap up the division today with a win over the New York Giants, which they did handily. They beat the Giants 22-16. The score wasn't as close as it lends itself to be. A lot of those points that the Giants put up was in garbage time of the fourth quarter, but the Eagles went on to win and finish with a record of 14-3. Also, the other divisional winner on the AFC side was the Chiefs. They beat the Raiders today to take the number one spot. The Buffalo Bills, who is Damar Hamlin's team, handled their business as well, getting back on the field after their teammates suffered, that devastation that happened to them, and they had to get back on the field afterwards. So they beat up on the New England Patriots today to solidify the number 2 spot in the AFC by beating the Patriots 32-23, which also meant that they knocked the Patriots out of playoff contention. So if you're Helen Weaver, if you're Lady B, or any of the Patriots fans out there, sorry, I guess we'll see you next year. On the other end, I know a lot of people were hitting me up saying the Cowboys lost. The Cowboys lost. Yes, they did lose. Yes, they did lose today, but a lot of the team was taken out in the second half because they already had wrapped up a playoff spot last week. So they couldn't finish no worse. They couldn't finish no better. So they will be facing in the first round of the playoffs the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the Dallas Cowboys will be traveling down to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers, which it's a good game. It's going to be a good game next week. So if your team was playing today and trying to secure a playoff spot, hopefully they did. So we're going to name some of the playoff teams and where they stand. So the Chiefs again took the AFC's top spot, with the Bills finishing second, the Cincinnati Bengals finishing third. The surprise Jacksonville Jaguars went from worst to first in their conference, in their division, and beat up on those Tennessee Titans to claim their first playoff spot in a very, very long time. They will be representing AFC South. The Los Angeles Chargers clinched the playoff spot. They're fifth. The Baltimore Ravens are sixth, and the Miami Dolphins claim the last and final spot, the seventh spot in the AFC. Now, the NFC playoff teams, again, the Philadelphia Eagles sit at top at 14-3, with the 49ers being number 2, the Minnesota Vikings finishing third, Tampa Bay Buccaneers finishing fourth, the Dallas Cowboys fifth, the New York Giants sixth, and the Seattle Seahawks seventh. Why that's the case is because Green Bay lost tonight in prime time to Detroit Lions, and the Seattle Seahawks overtook them in playoff spots. So the matchups goes like this starting next Saturday. The Seahawks will face the 49ers. The Jets will face the Vikings. The Cowboys will face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Dolphins will face the Bills. The Ravens will face the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Los Angeles Chargers will face the Jacksonville Jaguars in the first round of the playoffs, with those winners going over to the next round and facing either the Chiefs or the Eagles when it's their time up. So hopefully your team was mentioned tonight. If they weren't, hopefully next year is a better year for you and your team to make some noise. So that's it. But again, our prayers go out to the Hamlin family as he recovers from his injuries. But God is definitely with his brother. So congratulations to all those who made it to the playoffs. I guess we'll see you next week.
Oh, okay.
Nell,
Nice,
we got a
Nell.
surprise for you, Nell.
Thank you for that wonderful, wonderful going in 67 seconds.
I feel a
Shout
little,
out to the Philadelphia Eagles.
I feel a little hate coming though.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm finally
Oh,
going to commemorate our bet. And I do love the D, by the way. I do love the D. Not necessarily Dallas's D, but we'll take it. So for those of you who don't know, Nell and I actually had a little bet. I said that I would wear some cowboy attire should the Eagles fall to the Cowboys, and they did that last game. So I finally got the Cowboys gear in. So I am going to honor it tonight, Nell.
it looks so beautiful on you.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks so
I'm gonna be taking
beautiful on
some
you.
pictures and posting them up too. It just this last little bit of time, I don't feel it's sufficient enough. I'm just gonna, honor my bet fully.
I appreciate it. That's all I can ask, that you honor your bet properly. But
Yes.
I hopefully hope my hope is your team, my team, meets for the winner to go on to the Super Bowl. Because if it could shake out like that to where the NFC could be decided by the Philadelphia Eagles or the Dallas Cowboys. If it works out that way, that would be amazing. Why? Because I feel confident that the Dallas Cowboys will beat the Philadelphia Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. That's just my thoughts. That's
Well,
just
we shall see. We shall. That's all I'm saying. We shall see. I ain't making no more bets. I'm gonna tell you that right now. How about that?
That's why I don't bet
no
each.
problem, no problem. But again, if y'all ain't been under a rock and you don't hear us say this if you're new to the I shouldn't say that. If you're new to the channel, if you're someone who's just joining us here at Uncensored Minds, thank you. We continue these type of discussions on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesday being our Telemate Kick Show, which is a great show. This show right here, this show that's coming up this week is up my alley. It's fit week. You know
It's
what I mean?
Splash Wednesdays. It's Splash Wednesdays.
It's Splash Wednesdays, as is affectionately called. But what Splash Wednesdays mean is we're gonna be showing you a drip, and what drip is the fits that go along with these sneaks that we've been showing you how to put them together. Then Thursday here comes Game 7 with
Hey,
I
hey,
call
no.
him Mike. I call him Mike. I call this is my new names for them. Right? I'm calling T Sharp and Mike Bayless.
No, man.
They fight like Skip Bayless and fucking Shannon Sharp.
Mike can't be Skip, man. I gotta be Skip, man.
Yeah, you Skip. You Skip. He not Skip. You Skip.
Yeah,
I got it backwards. T is T Bayless.
Right.
And Mike is Mike Sharp. Them two
No.
fight like Skip and Shannon on that show, y'all. But y'all will love it. It's a dope show, and then we right back at y'all for 114. Damn, 114.
114.
Uncensored Minds 114. Shout outs to our guest tonight, the author, Untamed, the big dog in the comments, JC, for putting them two ladies together to create such an amazing body of work and bond that they share, and that y'all shared and created. Thank you to the people that's been in the comments tonight that was sitting back on the sidelines and watching, but just felt the need to dive in. Shout outs to Lynette. Shout outs to Mila. Shout outs to Cynthia, the whole crew, Angela, Tara, Sarah. If I miss your name, I'm sorry. It's just so many names that commented tonight made the show great. A little bit about nothing. We had that type of show tonight, and we'll be progressing and bringing y'all even more great content throughout the whole Telemade platform. So just be on the lookout and support us. Hit the like button, just share the all the buttons. Hit the buttons.
No, I gotta say, shout out to Angelia. We'll see you on Splash Wednesdays.
She Ashley?
No, I mean if you get that, we'll see you on Slash Wednesday.
I'm gonna stay out of it because you tried to check me earlier. I ain't hit the bait. But shout out to everybody for always keeping us on our toes, for hitting us up in our comments, for jumping in our DMs, for calling our phones, keeping us accountable. You know what I mean? We appreciate it. You know, all we can chalk it up to is just love. We appreciate it. So we'll see you again for the first start of the week. Is Wednesday with us here at Telemade Kicks. You're gonna see a great show with us 8 p.m. Then the next show is 7 p.m. the next night, called Game 7, and then us again 9 p.m. or sometime around that time for Uncensored Minds episode 114. So don't meet us there, beat us there like Rhonda normally does.
Right,
you know what I mean? So y'all can get a great good seat.
Shout out to Rhonda. The early bird always gets to worm.
What up, Ron?
I got one.
All right, Rhonda.
I got one final question for y'all before we get up out of here. Does the week start for y'all on Sunday or Monday morning?
Monday, the fuck?
Facts. Monday.
I hate when people be like the week start on Sunday. No, it don't.
I hate that shit. No, it don't.
Right. Monday, sure.
I have to back. No, my week began on Sunday with Uncensored Minds.
All right, I'll take that, Keita.
Your week begin on Sunday. Why?
With Uncensored
You
Minds.
trying to say we work or something? Like, what you trying to say? You hate your coworkers?
Hey, who said work has to not be fun? Yes.
No Mexico.
Mexico coming to Philly.
I regard this.
Do it. We're aggressive over here.
No Mexico.
We're aggressive over here. Don't do it.
I regard this as work.
You regard this as
I
work.
am that devoted to it.
You don't want Mexico. This ain't work.
Okay, there you get one. You get one shirt and you still voted, huh?
This is my real life right here, man.
Disclaimer: I am not for the weak.
Shut up.
If you're weak,
I approve of that message.
stay out of my damn way.
I approve.
I
of
love
that
you
message.
even saying you did.
Shout out to you lovely ladies, my co-hosts. Shout out to you, Nell. It's been a great show as usual.
Absolutely.
We will continue to improve and move the game.
Oh, please, people, give Aisha a round of applause for running the situation tonight.
Oh, great job,
Running the
E.
situation. We gonna buy her. Let's all buy her
Great
a round.
job.
Buy
A
me
round of what she was drinking, Bel Air.
Yeah. Delaware Blue.
But I hope I did a good enough job.
Excellent job.
You straight. I can't wait
great.
to get KD on the board, dog.
That won't be happening. I'm gonna let y'all know.
Yes, it will, KD.
I'm not getting on there.
Why?
KD.
Thank you, Angelia.
Learn something. Remember the message. Learn something.
Then she said she treats us
I
like
learn
work.
something every day.
You
I
treat us like
learn
work,
to
so
stay in
this
my
is you gotta
place.
learn your job.
I learned to stay in my lane.
Thanks.
No, I'm ready. I'll just kidding. I'm ready to give it a try. Just don't blame me if we don't have no audience members.
I can't.
Watch, we ain't gonna have no power for some reason. They're gonna be like, I can't log in.
It's gonna be something, but that's okay.
Disconnected.
We're gonna learn and get through it anyway.
All right, everybody. We out.
Yo, don't forget, y'all better be here next Sunday. We don't want no ifs, ands, or buts. My man's birthday is next Sunday. If y'all ain't here, y'all square. We gonna come to your door. So next week is a party. We having a party next Sunday. And it's for the big homie T. So make sure y'all here. Episode 114 is gonna be one of them special episodes because we're gonna be highlighting the boy. You dig the kid.
And have your cash apps ready. That's the one time he'll take some cash. So get your cash apps ready.
Cash apps ready and locked and loaded.
Yes, we'll let loose the cash chat for everybody.
Facts.
Shout out to my mom. Mom, happy birthday, mom. I love you, mom. Happy
You don't get
birthday.
Wi-Fi in Mexico?
Hey.
She don't get Wi-Fi in Mexico?
Bye-bye, everybody. Great week.
Bye, everybody.